Hey guys, we're here. We showed up fashionably late to the party, but
Yes, I forgot that I'm not on camera today, but I have to speak.
yeah, but I do see Tony Man. Oh, yeah, I goofed. I was running late. That was my fault. But yeah, Tony Man's hello, anybody home? And JJ is saying hey, trash picture show, hey, or hello. I guess
Hello.
horror went.
That reminds me of in Labyrinth when the little worm
Yes,
said
the
hello.
caterpillar.
Yeah,
I
she
love
said,
that guy.
"Did you just say hello to me?" No, I said
No, I said
hello. That's close
hello.
enough.
I said hello.
Hmm.
I guess horror went to the Festival of the Living Dead and got eaten alive
Hmm.
by mosquitoes, probably. They're pretty bad in Texas. I don't know what they're like in your area.
Oh yeah, they're all the bugs. Like the last, I would say 2 years, the
Mm-hmm.
fruit flies and mosquitoes have like multiplied.
Ew.
But the love bugs have been I've seen less love bugs than what used to be around. So I don't know what that's about.
Hmm. Oh, that reminds me the other day, speaking of bugs, I posted a picture of it on my Instagram. I don't know if anybody saw it, but I walked up to my mother's root plant the other day and I saw this big bright caterpillar in the plant and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to move him so he doesn't eat up her plant. And I'm told he was a monarch, but he was a green caterpillar with yellow and black spots on him. And then
Hmm.
just all of a sudden, I noticed this stink, and I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I grabbed at the caterpillar again, and I saw that he was putting out his yellow antennas, and I'm like, you stinker. So he
Hmm.
was he was spraying me. He's like, get away.
Hmm.
I washed my hands 3 times, and I still stink.
Oh, that's their self defense, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, Rue's probably that good, but I mean, I wasn't
Hmm.
trying to hurt him. I just wanted to move him. But
Oh,
yeah.
we got a couple more comments. JJMPB says, "I'm gonna go finish my laundry,"
Oh
and
yeah, I see
Tony
that.
says, "Fucking Marty." I love that guy. That's the best. I can't really do Marty's accent
it's 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 a
quite
bit of
as
it's a bit of work, like fucking my.
yeah. I love his accent though, especially when he starts cursing. It's like melodic.
Yes, yes, it's funny. And then
Uh,
Slipknots. Yeah, I've not seen this movie. I didn't get to finish watching it. I was last minute watching, and I didn't get to finish
mm,
it. But I'm told by Sasha I didn't miss too much. So
no. The what um to explain it to because Slipknot fan said he has not seen the movie. This is a direct sequel to Night of the Living Dead. The main characters, if you look up the actually I'll pull it up on my phone so I can show
yeah,
you
she's like
guys.
related to Ben, the
Let's
the
see
guy
if I
from the
can
first
share.
movie, the black and white movie.
Let's see here. See if I can share the screen. It doesn't let me add it. I
I'm
think
on
you have,
mobile. Yeah.
and you don't see another.
Like when I click on more, I see post, comment, layout, private chat, stream info, settings, cancel.
Hmm. Okay, so y'all will have to look it up yourselves because it won't let me share the screen to show the poster art. But the
Yeah.
young lady on the poster, she is meant to be the granddaughter of our hero in the original Night of the Living Dead, 1968 or 69, and
69, I think.
mhm. and it goes with her. She also has a little brother that is diabetic,
Hmm.
and her and her friends decide they're going to go to this festival, like a rave type,
Yeah, like a
out in the
Coachella
woods.
thing,
Yeah,
Burning
yeah.
Man, something like
Hmm.
that.
And the other young lady on the poster, if you're looking at it, she volunteers to stay home with the first young lady's little brother to babysit.
Yeah.
And something happens that makes them decide to try to go to the festival as well. And the little brother ends up tagging along. So when they get there, of course, there's living dead and they're attacking people and they have to
Hmm.
survive. Spoiler alert, the two people on the poster are the two survivors,
Oh,
along with
okay.
her little brother.
Well, no great
Um,
loss. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, basically, it's the thumbnail of this stream. So if you've seen the thumbnail, that's who
Hmm.
Sasha is talking about. Sorry, I got tongue tied.
No, the thing that I liked about the movie was how it started.
Mm-hmm.
I like the characters. I thought that there was a really cool group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they showed characters that to me look more like what I see of Gen Z people as at least in my neighborhood. I
Mm-hmm.
see uh black kids that are also into the alternative scene that are
Yeah.
more into gothic type of clothing dress that's really cool. I see non-gender conforming teens walking
Mm-hmm.
around, and that's represented in this movie as well. And there's also a
Yeah.
character that uses a wheelchair, and I thought, well, that's pretty cool too. And the actor himself uses a wheelchair. They didn't put an actor who doesn't use a wheelchair in a mobility device. So I think that was really great casting, and they
Mm-hmm.
were also great casting because they're good actors. They're
Yeah,
just
they are.
really good actors.
I've
Um,
I've never heard of any of these people, but yeah, they did do a good job. I mean, obviously the boyfriend and the brother, they were playing the jerk, so we're not supposed
mhm.
to like them anyway. But even
Yeah.
when they showed up with the keg, I was like, man, that's just a total asshole move.
Yeah. That's the only thing that kept throwing me off is the boyfriend. He looked way too old to play the character he's playing. Like,
Hmm.
dude, I see the 30 on your face. Like 30 is knocking at your door and you're playing a teenager. Yeah, no, I just can't.
No,
It's giving
I'm
Luke
like,
Perry. If you remember
um,
90210, how Luke
yeah.
Perry looks. I love a fellow.
If you're not a Gen Xer or a millennial, I'm like, I'm sorry, 30 is not the new 20. You guys live
No.
too hard.
Yeah.
It's not working.
Or KJ Appa, is that the one that plays on Riverdale? Be a
Ah,
teenage student. I'm like, this grown ass man.
oh, no, my first thought is Power Rangers, you know, like how they had those two goon characters and
Hmm.
they had outgrown the role. Like the guy was too old to be playing a high school kid. You could see the stubble from where he was shaving off his beard and he was still trying to play a
Hmm.
high school kid.
Yes. Like I remember when I mean this is a tangent, but I do remember actual teenagers playing teenagers. Like when I was a
Yes,
teenager, I remember the two Corys, Corey
yes.
Haim and Corey Feldman. Ralph Macchio, he was a teenager when he started, but they still had him playing teenagers at 27. Like
Well,
he
he has
played
a young
teenagers.
face. I'll give
Yes,
him
he
credit
did.
for that.
Yeah, like Karate Kid, he looked like a baby. Like he
Yes.
really looked like a
I mean, he
baby.
could have passed for 16.
Hmm. But when he was in Karate Kid 3, he was 27 years old and he still
Oh
looked
gosh,
like he was a teenager. He just had a very young looking face.
good
But we didn't
genes.
notice that he had been playing a teenager for like 12 years. We were
No.
just like, we just let it pass. We're just like,
Yeah,
okay.
like and that's the thing that throws me off. Like even when I see like real teenagers now because I watch so much film, like and it's true
Hmm.
we get a lot of older people that play younger, which is common now.
Hmm.
But I see like a real teenager and I'm like, man, you look like a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. This is directed by the Soska sisters, which I'm understanding they have some controversy about them, but I didn't get a chance
Yes.
to look it up. Do you know about that?
I forget what movie it was. They tried to steal somebody's film idea and register the script under their name.
Oh, that's dirty
Um,
work.
yes,
There's
and
already two of you. You can't come up with an idea. There's two of you.
yeah, I mean, like, what happened to like you guys chug energy drinks and take turns playing video games, and somebody would work on the script, and then y'all trade off when the character dies. And
Hmm.
I mean, I thought you guys were cool, and I'm like, you know, there's, I mean, to my understanding, it's not the first time they've tried it.
Hmm.
So it doesn't surprise me that it's a Tubi movie rather than like maybe something that they produced themselves or went through
Hmm.
studio because WWE never touched them again.
Hmm. Oh, Mystic Mac made a good point. He says, I always forget that Night of the Living Dead is public domain. Yeah, that's why you often see it playing in the background on televisions and other
Mm-hmm.
people's movies.
Mm-hmm.
Marty says one of the young girls plays Selena Kyle version of Catwoman in the Gotham series.
I haven't
Oh,
seen
oh,
it.
okay. And
Okay.
JJMP says 21 Jump Street, they were way older than teens. Well, that
Yes.
was kind of the point because they were cops and you can't
Yeah.
be a teenage cop, but they were trying to go undercover as teenagers in high schools to be narcs. So
Mm-hmm.
they were technically supposed to be people, but they still a lot of them couldn't pass. Like
No.
Peter DeLuise, no, you're never gonna be. Johnny Depp, when he was younger, he probably could have passed as a
I,
teenager because he was in his 20s when he was in on Elm Street and
yeah,
he
I'd
was
say it
passable.
worked.
Yeah.
Which is
Um,
funny because in the 80s, that's the only time I've ever heard anybody scream for their mom when they're being attacked.
yeah. That was, and that's realistic.
It is, but you don't see it in movies now. But
No.
it's always stuck out to me. Even as a kid, I'm like, that would have been like my first thing I would have done because I mean, Elm Street's like was around that
Mhm.
same age range, and I'm like, yeah, I would have screamed for my mom too. I'm like,
Tony
I was a lot younger watching it.
Man. Tony Man says, every time I see an older dude playing younger, I think of Steve Buscemi and a skateboard meme. Hello, fellow teenagers.
Oh gosh,
um,
yeah. I mean, like in
I
the
all
early 2000s, we had like the same thing. Like everyone we grew up watching, like Freddie Prinze Jr., Rachel Lee Cook, they were all playing teenagers, but we knew that they were like in their early 20s.
mm-hmm. Slipknot fan says somebody said the bully in Christine looks 40. I don't remember her looking 40. I just remember the girl with the baseball cap. She looked relatively young. I don't remember what the bully looked like, and other than I remember her hair. I remember having blonde hair and it was very full, but I don't remember what her face looked like for some reason. Marty
Yeah.
says it sucks that they did it to a female indie horror director. I mean, they should know better,
Yes.
having to come up in a patriarchal machine that is
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood. Excellent point, Marty.
Exactly, and not just that. I mean, their first film was in protest of film school that they went to. The
Mhm.
Hooker in a Dead Trunk was their student film.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it really does suck. Like, I knew somebody at the time who was, I don't want to drop names because they probably don't want to get dragged into anything,
Mm.
but they were making their own independent film, which has been out for years now. And, you know, she had gotten very close to them because she was making it was her first movie, her boyfriend and herself, they were directing, producing.
Mhm.
Um, and she got really close to the Saskas. And then it just got to the point to where just one day out of the blue, she says, I'm not talking to them ever again. And she never said what they did. And then when the story dropped about the screenplay, I mean, that's my first assumption is like, oh, they found out what they were doing.
Mm.
I mean, there's no proof. That's just my speculation. But I mean, why would you all of a sudden, stop talking to somebody that you idolize?
Yeah. That's so disappointing to see them go down this route because I really did enjoy their movie American Mary.
I loved it. I thought it was
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
I didn't really have high hopes for this one though because I'm just going to say it. I generally don't use crude language, but they just shat all over Rabbit, and I thought they were a bad choice to begin with. My
Mhm.
first thought when I heard that they were announced to direct it was anybody but the Saskas.
Mhm. I didn't see the remake. I was just kind of on my I'm not fucking with I think Exorcist Believer
Oh, I still
made me
haven't
say, you
seen
know
that.
what? Made me say, you know what? I'm about to give up on any, like, even though that's not a remake, that's more of a reboot.
Uh huh.
Um and I just felt like y'all don't give a damn about the original concepts and you don't
Mm-mm.
study, like, this is going to turn into a mini Exorcist believer rant, but you literally have 50 years to study that film. 50 years
Yes.
and you still don't get it, you still don't understand, like, you're not even trying.
Okay,
At least with the
I can at least say like from the perspective of somebody who loves religious horror,
Mhm.
it's I never even finished reading the book, but it's very complex. It has a lot of
Yes.
themes, and like you can learn a lot from it. And I mean, I'm obviously I still haven't even I'm not even midway on that mountain yet.
Mhm.
But I'm like, it was very well written. I like how the film was put together. It was very well put together. I like how they left it open ended, where you
Yeah.
can either have the interpretation, oh well, good didn't luck out this time, and I'm like, no, good did because he sacrificed himself for the girl.
Mhm.
So I mean,
and
I
and
like it how they left it open like that, like where you can just kind of interpret how you want.
And it's such a master class in filmmaking. Not even
Hmm.
just horror filmmaking, just filmmaking in itself. Like,
Hmm.
if you just study the cinematography, if you study the timing of different scenes, how they wrote the dialogue,
Hmm.
um, how they use the locations like, it's just so, it's, to me, I have two horror films I feel like are perfect that I can't
Yes.
find fault in. The
Um,
Exorcist and Poltergeist. Those
Poltergeist
two
is good.
Yeah, it's just
I mean, it's open. I absolutely love that speech on the stairs that Damien and was it Father Marin, Father Merrick, they're having this
Mhm,
discussion because he's gotten shaken up after that first conflict.
mhm.
And he's kind of trying to tell him, well, it's like this sometimes. You just kind of have to, you know, um, what do you call it? Call upon your own inner strength
Mhm.
and rely on your faith in God to pull you through because he's just shaken that why would this demon take this young girl? And
Mhm.
I just think it's beautiful dialogue and just the way it's
Yeah.
shot too, where they're just kind of facing away from each other, like
Mhm.
opposing opinions versus life experience. I mean, I mean, I should just do a scene analysis of that scene. I love it.
Oh, that would be great. Now that you mentioned the priest, that's the thing I think that a lot of modern exorcism movies, as well as the Exorcist Believer, leaves out. The Exorcist is called the Exorcist. It's not called the Possessed. And a lot of these
Okay.
movies, they focus so heavily on the possessed that they forget to flesh out the characters of the actual people that are trying to perform the exorcism. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
they did with Exorcist Believer. They, I mean, there's some good things about the movie, and I don't want to completely shit on it because the special effects tech,
Mm-hmm.
y'all did your job. Like you made those girls look creepy. The young
Mm-hmm.
ladies acting possessed. They did an awesome job. Those two young girls, you guys acted your asses off. I wish you were in a better movie. You guys
Yeah.
did the damn thing. But the writer and the director, y'all just said, we don't need to know about the priest. And that's like that's
No.
literally over half the movie of The Exorcist is about the priests. Like what? And it was a miss. Oh, I do the first Omen, Tony Man, I slightly disagree. I feel like the people who did the first Omen um had more respect for the Omen than the people who did Exorcist Believer had for the
Mm-hmm.
Exorcist. What they
Yeah.
did with the first Omen is they made it's a period piece. It takes place in 1971. But they still it's like they merged two things. It's like a hybrid movie. It There's times where it feels very similar to how movies are shot in the 70s, but there's certain things that they did update, and I think that they updated them because they didn't I think they second guessed themselves. I think they didn't think that audiences would sit through a film that moved as slowly as the original Omen moved. And so I think either through their own process or through producers pushing them, they had to add some updated elements. Like I said, how most of the scares in the Omen, the first Omen, are similar to how they were set up in the original Omen 1973. Was it
Mm-hmm.
73? I think it was 73. It might have been later. But there is one particular scene that was very Blumhouse jump scare, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm inclined to believe that the producer said, "Oh wait, you need to put something more boo scare in this." I feel like they were really pushed to do that because that scene seems so out of place with the rest of the movie.
I
So it
went
feels,
I went 80s. I thought you were almost going to say you need to put more boobs in this.
oh no, no, no. I think that's what Terrifier movies are missing. See, I'm gonna get into all my rants today. Terrifier is a half. I feel like it's a half-ass slasher only because the gore and the kills are brilliant. Love that part of Terrifier and the character design. That clown looks amazing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
rooting for that clown. But the writing, you're not giving us full slasher because I mean, there's no nudity in any of the well there was one when the one lady got her titty was it bitten off or something, I don't know. I think there was
Oh.
one mutilation of a titty, but it wasn't like they don't have any like sex scenes like the way slasher movies, not necessarily sex scenes, nude scenes. Like in Friday
Mm-hmm.
13th, somebody's always going to strip and jump in the water naked. Like that's not necessarily a sex scene, but there's nudity. And
No,
I feel like
or even just like somebody's getting undressed to get into the shower. I mean, even if
yeah.
it's presented innocent, but it's always there.
Mhm. Yeah. I feel
Like
I
even
don't
stepfather had a shower scene.
even in the like the granddaddy of, well, I would say one of the granddaddies. If Psycho is the granddaddy of slasher movies, which had a shower scene,
Mm-hmm.
um then the mother would be, I would have said Peeping Tom, but I have to shout out to my sister because she will always say dementia goddamn 13 is the mother.
Okay,
So
I
Psycho's the
forget
daddy,
about that
dementia.
one. I'm
Yeah.
I'm stuck on Peeping Tom because it got more flack, and I think
Yeah.
it was older than Psycho, but very similar themes.
Hmm. And in Dementia 13, there is a woman who strips down to her underwear and jumps in the water to go swimming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like so if you haven't seen the original Dementia 13, please go back and watch that one. You'll see so many. I think somebody got chased with an axe in that too. Way before The Shining, way before like modern slasher movies. And when I say modern, I'm thinking of the 80s, but way back in
Yeah.
the 60s, Dementia 13 kind of set up those tropes for what a slasher movie is. I loved
Mm-hmm.
it. Okay, we have a couple more comments here. Let's see. Mystic Max says, I finally warmed up to the original Exorcist film. Watched
Mm-hmm.
it again last year. JJMP says 76. That's probably for the Omen.
Yeah, for the year. Yeah, I
And
jumped ahead.
oh, no problem. Mystic Max says, the Exorcist radio program thing you shared on here was really good as well, Kara.
Mm-hmm.
And then he
Yeah,
says,
I
get him,
liked that.
Tasha.
Yeah. Oh,
Tony Man. Oh, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. No, I was going to back up really quick. There was Slipknot was saying the Saskas are now writing comic books. I'm like, yeah, I
Mm,
wonder why. I'm like, I can't help but stick the shiv in there, but it's kind of like you did it to yourselves. And I'm like, even
yeah.
if you do like comic books, that wasn't your dream. You're directors, not comic book
Mm.
writers.
What was I say? Oh, Tony Man said Terrifier 2 was horror and fantasy because of that amazing sword scene, the magical glowing sword. Yeah, I didn't really care for that part of it. I'm like, this is boring, and I didn't ask for it. I want to
Hmm.
see if you want to do a fantasy movie. I mean, you can mix things together. Clearly, there's
Yeah.
no reason why you can't mix fantasy with horror at all. But I didn't feel like it worked.
Hellraiser, Dark City. I mean, they do
Yeah.
mesh well.
Hmm. I think you guys just like her outfit with the sword thing because it has a bustier. Like you put a leather bustier on a chick, and dudes will be like, "Yes, the greatest movie ever." Okay. Oh, did we talk about the gore in Festival of the Dead? I thought that was pretty well
No,
done.
we totally skipped over it. I remember the one scene where I think they were like in the I want to say the infirmary where like the one bitten chick turns into a zombie and one of the zombies gets like his face blown off or something.
Hmm. Yeah, there was some
Yeah.
nice
Um
effects. It's a
I
good looking movie. Like as
it
far as
is.
like the lighting and the camera work, it's not bad.
I didn't care for the soundtrack. Like I'm really big on film scores. Like
Hmm.
if I don't like the sound of your movie, it makes it hard for me to enjoy your movie.
Yeah. And I wish they would have gotten some good, like, actual music because it's called Festival of the Dead, and it's about going to a music festival, but you didn't have any
A bunch
decent
of made up musicians.
music. Like, you could have got some
Goddess
indie
Zilla.
artists. Yeah. Well, maybe they were indie artists, but they just chose really bad ones. Oh,
Um
someone in the chat earlier mentioned, I think it was Marty mentioned, so the Selena Kyle character on I forgot the name, the
Gotham.
Gotham, yeah. The actress, her name is Cameron Bicondova or Bicondova, maybe. Maybe she has the most um like engaging eyes. She
Hmm.
was the girl that was supposed to babysit the little brother. I just
Oh,
kept on
okay.
staring at her face because she just has these
Yes.
eyes.
I thought that was just me.
Mhm, mm-mm. No, she just is really engaging. Love to
Yeah.
see her like really star and stuff. The young lady who played Ash, which I'm wondering did they name her Ash to kind of wink and nod at Evil Dead because he was fighting Deadites and Deadites, even though they're not the same as the Living Dead, they I don't know. Maybe I'm just
I've always had that argument. I'm like, no, Deadites are people possessed by demons. They're not zombies.
yes.
And I've always had that argument with people. They're like, it's
Hmm.
a zombie movie. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, I agree. Deadites are not zombies. But her name is Ashley Moore. She was
Hmm.
recently on the I Know What You Did Last Summer TV series on Amazon, which was pretty decent. Because I'm not a huge fan of I Know What You Did Last Summer, but the TV series
Oh, I
was
haven't seen
really
that.
well done. Yeah, it takes place in Hawaii, which is
Okay.
a great place to
Interesting.
shoot. Yeah.
Well, I think the second film was they were on vacation, so I guess that makes sense.
Mhm. Well, these are on vacation. They just live in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Let's see
Yeah.
here.
Um But yeah, I mean that was one of the off-putting things because I was semi-excited about when I heard there was a new Saska movie, but I don't consider it like a direct sequel. I consider it to be from the same universe as because I'm like, don't you touch my George Romero. Get away from there.
Yeah. I think that's what they wanted it to be, a direct sequel, by making Ash, why can I remember the main character's name from Night of the Living Dead? Um, well, anyway, she's supposed to be his granddaughter, which
Hmm.
really should be like his great granddaughter. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
the
know.
timing is off. Like what was it? The
Yeah.
film was 68 or something, and they said the festival's taking place 5 years later, but it's set in modern day. And
Yeah, that doesn't line
I'm like,
up.
yeah, I'm like,
They're
I know I can't math, but I'm like, I'm not.
they're doing that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D math, where she was supposed to be somebody. It's like, if you were their daughter and that was 1970 something, you would not be in your 20s still.
Mm-mm,
No.
mm-mm. Like maybe next generation chainsaw. I'm like, that's
Hmm.
believable, but
Yeah. Oh, the two sisters. I forgot to mention them. I liked them.
oh
Destiny and Lindsay.
yeah,
They were
the
earlier victims.
TikTokers or whatever they were.
Yeah, they were funny. They were very comical and very cute. They were so cute. They
Hmm.
actually are sisters in real life. One is
Oh,
played by Kiana Lynn Bastidas, and the other one is Maya J Bastidas. So they cast sisters to play sisters.
oh, that's cool.
And that first zombie that was cricking and cracking down the road and doing back bends.
Yeah, the contortionist.
Yes, that's Troy James again. Anytime you see a dude doing contortions or a creature doing contortions, is Troy James.
Hmm.
He's like, he was in oh God, what is that? There's a series on Shudder that comes from creepy pastas. He was on one that was called The Secret Door, but I can't
Oh,
remember
okay.
oh no, let me click on his name. It'll tell me the series. Because he's been in a lot of stuff. He's really big, like Javier Botet. Javier Botet is the one I played on Mama and
I still haven't seen
um
that one.
Rec. He played La Nina Medieros in Rec. He
Oh,
played the
okay.
three ghosts in Crimson Peak. He's like
Oh,
Javier
okay.
Botet. Whenever you see a really skinny creature. Oh, he was also in, he played the Crooked Man in The Conjuring 2, and there was something else recently. I think he was also in I Are You Afraid of the Dark, the movie.
Hmm.
Whereas Troy James, he's been in Chucky. He was one of the creepy. He was, his character is credited as creepiest clown ever. What else? He was in Slashback, uh, Evil Next Door, Black Box. Black Box was a Amazon movie. He played the backwards man.
Mm.
Let's see. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. He was a jangly man in Stories to Tell in the Dark. He was in Hellboy playing Baba Yaga.
Hmm.
Channel Zero. That's the name of the series. It was on Shudder. It was called Channel Zero.
It sounds
Um,
familiar.
he played Pretzel Jack, and he was on The Strain. He played a castle mongrel in The Void, the movie The Void. He played a sleepwalker. So just basically creatures that contort their bodies. It's gonna be Troy James, super skinny creatures that move in a creepy kind of breakdancey way. It's gonna be Javier Botet. Like, these
Hmm.
guys, I feel like they're the next generation of like the Robert Englund and
Mm.
Kane Hodder like type of horror people.
Yeah. Well, we do
Uh,
need a new generation of them. Like I've lost touch with like who's up and coming these days. So I don't. I watch movies. I mean, I watch all movies blindly, but now I'm watching them to where I don't even know who the actors are, and I'm like, oh, I like so and so. I'm gonna track what you've done,
mhm.
and that's the only way I learn about like new actors.
Mhm. Same. Like, I'll see a person, like the young lady we were just talking about with the eyes. Like, I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, let me look up who this person is because I want to see what else she's going to be in because I really like her."
Hmm.
Um, Tonyman says his name was Ben. I looked it up. Ash was related to Ben. Didn't know that Cracking Man was Pretzel Jack too. Yep.
Hmm.
He actually came off of America's Got Talent. He went on stage and did his contortion act, and then he started getting roles and to do special effects things.
That's awesome. I've I have this one like random curiosity, like people who are contortionists. I'm like, is it like easier for them to injure themselves?
I wonder.
I
Or
mean,
would it be harder?
to me it would make sense. I mean, like say you're like accidentally in a car accident. I mean, if you are able to shift things out of place on command, I'm like, how easy would it be to just jostle something out in the middle of an accident?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. I watched this movie about 2 weeks ago, and I didn't rewatch it for the show because I didn't feel I didn't feel like rewatching. So, I think it's about 20 minutes too long. What's the runtime on
Yeah.
this? It says,
It's about 2 hours, I think. I think we're
yeah,
like in about the same boat. Like you didn't want to rewatch it. I didn't finish watching
yeah,
it.
yeah. It just it started out really, really promising. It did, but then it just dragged on and on and on. And
Hmm.
the two main characters, they have such plot armor. It's like they're never going to get hurt. Like they don't even. It doesn't feel like they're even really that much in danger because no matter what they do, they're never. They could always get out of it. And I'm like,
Hmm.
that's not fun.
And like, how am I supposed to like develop some attachment to this character if I'm not concerned for their well being, or
That
you know,
too.
or if they're just not pleasantly written? I'm like, okay, well, I can't wait for you to go.
Mhm. Or make the dialogue just a little snappier. Because
Hmm.
I was thinking about it. I was like, well, what if they made more time in the front end of the movie to get to know the characters? And I was like, well, time is not really the issue. It's the writing. Because when I think of Return of the Living Dead, which is also a near perfect movie,
Hmm.
you get to know those characters so quickly
Yes.
it's
Yes.
like 4 minutes of dialogue and you get to know who they are just based
Hmm.
on what they're saying.
And it's funny, it's a Return of the Living Dead. I didn't think about it, but it's like the Breakfast Club of horror. You have like all these
It
different types
is.
of people that get together, and it's like we wouldn't have this preppy hanging out with this punk, and,
Yeah,
and they're like all best friends.
I've always thought that, like, the girl in the, with the headband that's
Hmm.
going to see her boyfriend at the Unita products, why I'm like, why would she even be there with them? Like, then that she doesn't really fit with the group or the guy. I never remember this one character's name,
Hmm.
that had the suit jacket on.
The
He
suit
just
jacket.
didn't look like he went with, like, Trash and them and Suicide, like, they
Hmm.
and Spider. Spider's my favorite character.
Oh, okay.
I'll bust it in the goddamn head. I like in my mind, I like to think that Spider and Demon from Friday the 13th 5 are the same character. They're both played by Miguel Nunez, but they both for those who don't know who Demon is, it's the one that damn enchiladas, that guy. I feel like they're the same character. They both had on punk rock type of aesthetic.
Hmm.
And the names, Demon and Spider, I just feel, or it could have just been Miguel A. Nunez playing a type in the 80s, but he was
It could
always
be.
fun. Yeah. Yeah, they're not, these characters weren't fun enough. Their looks, here's the thing, their clothing and aesthetics were more interesting than their personalities.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, who was it? Ash, they kept saying that you're a drag. I'm like, not really. She doesn't seem like a drag. Okay, like, okay, maybe she's a square, like she doesn't fit with the group of people she was trying to hang out with, but
Yeah.
she didn't strike me as a drag.
Mm-mm. No, because Ash and when they were hanging out together, what's the other young lady's name? Iris.
Hmm.
Ash and Iris, they seemed like they were the ones that would go to a festival and have a good time.
Hmm.
When Ash's boyfriend came and he's just like Biff Tannen,
Yes.
broski frat boy football player, I'm like, you don't even look like you go with her. Like, what is it? What is this? With a keg? Like, no. She seems like
Mm-mm.
she would go with the guy that would bring the vape, not the keg. Like, what?
Something. Maybe be a little more classy and go old school with the hookah.
Yeah. I didn't see no, I don't think they smoked any weed at all in this movie.
No, they were pill popping. There were shrooms. What else was there?
Mm,
I guess pills are the big thing these days, but I mean, I
yeah.
thought it was vaping.
Yeah, I'm old, so I don't know. I'm too old to go to music festivals because I'm like, if I'm going, I need a chair. Not
Yes,
standing all day.
I like going to the smaller venues. Like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm like in my early 40s, but
Mhm.
I like that band Cigarettes After Sex, and I went to watch them at Austin City Limits, but it was not like on the festival grounds. It was like one of those off-site where they do the filming for PBS.
Mhm.
And it was very chill. Like I enjoyed it. I mean, I sat on the lawn.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, the music's very mellow. I mean, you could literally just sit there and watch the show. And I mean, even though I couldn't really, like see the guy performing it, it was more about the music than anything.
Mhm. Yeah, the
And
last one I think I went to was Tears for Fears had a free concert in downtown Orlando, and it
mhm.
was in an area where you could just, like, bring your own lawn chair or fishing chair and
Oh,
just sit
okay.
there. I
Mhm.
actually have video. I have video of them, what I have I think I've recorded them singing "Sow in the Seeds of Love," um, "Everybody Wants to Rule the World." I think there's a 3rd
Uh-huh.
song. It's on my other channel. If you go to, Fashion Freak TV,
Oh,
there's, like,
okay.
3 videos of Tears for Fears. It's just so random. But I didn't have any other place to put it, so I just uploaded it to YouTube. At the time, this is pre-TikTok, was Instagram a thing? It was, but it didn't
In
have video.
2010s, I think Instagram started in 2010, but yeah, video
Yeah,
came like maybe a year or two later.
yeah, yeah.
And you
Instagram
only
was
got
all
like,
pictures back then.
was it 15 seconds of video or was it took a while before we got the full minute of video and now the videos are
Mhm.
longer.
Yeah. Yeah, it was before all that. I think it was even before Snapchat. But,
Yeah, it was. I never even bothered with Snapchat.
me
Um,
either. Because
I
everything I do, I
mhm.
meant to do that. I don't need it to disappear. I'm grown. I don't have to hide from my parents what I do. That's what to me, Snapchat is for people who wanna hide what they do. They wanna share it with their friends, but they wanna make
Mhm.
sure it disappears in 24 hours so that
Um,
their folks don't see. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like in Austin, that's what I've heard just because I've like don't even ask, but I've just heard
Mhm.
quotations that people in Austin mostly use Snapchat for selling illegal substances, and I'm like, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, because the videos disappear in 24 hours.
Hmm.
Like, whatever you post disappears in 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I
Um,
never would have thought to use it that way anyway, but
mm. Mystic Mac says Return of the Living Dead is too much fun.
it
Uh,
is.
and Tony Man said, let's be honest and say the little boy in the bully scene was the best. Yeah.
Mm.
Tony Man says, I don't like festivals because I hate porta potty so much. Oh, yes.
Yes, they're
That's
so
another,
gross.
yes, that's another reason not to go to a festival.
And
Uh,
eventually you're going to have to go.
mm-hmm. Mystic Mac says, Snapchat is real sneaky like. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never messed with Snapchat. I recently got a TikTok, like I think about a month
Mm-hmm.
ago, and I'm still trying to figure out how to use it.
Oh, I could help you with that because I love TikTok.
Oh,
The
okay, cool.
reason why I love TikTok is because, well, I think the algorithm is AI, but it
Mm-hmm.
learns from you. And the best way to use it is to just scroll and then
Mm-hmm.
uh, anything you see that actually piques your interest, like it. And
Mm-hmm.
then as you scroll, the algorithm will recalibrate to show you more of what you like, and then
Okay.
things that are related to what you like. Like, say, if you like a bunch of horror stuff, it's going to show you more horror stuff, but then it'll also show you some sci-fi because it
Mm-hmm.
figures because you like horror, you might like
They're
sci-fi too.
yeah, they're related.
Yeah, and it's super international. It's not like Instagram where you can scroll Instagram all day and you're going to see like
You're
99%
stuck in your
American.
region.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where like I just like last night it was a Sikh dude. And
Mm. Oh, okay.
he was singing A Marie one thing and then he mixed it with Little Mo and I was like that is so freaking cool. So I get more videos of that. Um, some of the most viral songs on there are not American songs. There's a Chinese song that's viral. There's these Punjabi dudes that were rap battling
Hmm.
outside, and they went viral. Really, really. It's like there's a lot of fun stuff on there. There's a lot of educational stuff. Anything
Hmm.
you want to learn how to do, how to sew something, how to paint something, how to fix something. Similar to how on YouTube there's tutorials for everything. So of course,
Yeah.
people who like to do tutorials will also put it on TikTok. Even
Yeah.
though it is mostly short form, there are videos that are
Hmm.
up to 10 minutes long, and there's
Oh,
also
okay.
live streams. So people can live stream on the live streams are so wild. There's a vampire that I stumbled upon that live streams.
Hmm.
At
That
least he
sounds
claims to be
cool.
a vampire.
Good enough
There's a
for me.
guy. There's a guy who's from the 1940s.
Uh-huh.
His live stream is in black and white. He has a record player and an old fashioned phone next to him, and
Oh,
he talks
cool.
real fast like this. See, because he's from the 1940s. He live streams like that, and it's like
Oh
these are.
man.
It's like really, really creative. I love it. I don't know why these
It
people are
would
more attracted to TikTok than YouTube, because everything that they do there, they could do on YouTube. And the only thing that I can find that gravitates there is the algorithm shows you to people.
Mhm.
If you post to TikTok, like most of my TikToks, it's rare for me to have less than 250 views
Oh,
because
okay.
it's going to show you. Whereas YouTube, I feel like favors a very select amount of people, and then the rest of us, it's hell on wheels trying to get views, trying to get someone to
Yes.
watch you.
YouTube is like you very have to it's very butt kissy.
Yes. Whereas there you have more of a shot of people seeing you.
I love TikTok as much as I love festival porta potties.
Tony Mansfield, we just had a conversation, me and him, about him being an old man, and he's old manning again. Those young whippersnappers, I don't want to see no tickety tockets. He was the same way about Twitter when it first came out. He was the
Oh,
same way.
oh, I like it. It took a while for me to get on Twitter because this is how old I am. I was still on LiveJournal back then when Twitter was new,
Oh,
and people
I'm
kept
so
trying to
I'm
talk me
so
into it.
I am so old. Let me tell this to the chat as evidence of how old I am. I'm so old that Jeffree Star used to follow me on MySpace. That's how old I am. And speaking of Jeffree Star, that is a person that can transition. I have
Hmm.
seen him go from MySpace to YouTube to now he's on TikTok. Although they've tried to cancel him multiple times on TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know what he did, but I heard that there was some controversy around him. Oh, and apparently
Really?
he sells yak meat sausages also.
Yeah, he has a farm
Oh,
that
okay.
he breeds yak on. I don't know what he's done. It's always something with him. Because I
Hmm.
remember back in his early YouTube days when he used to do this character that was very similar to the black mammy stereotype,
Mm.
and that was like one of the first times he got canceled. He was in that bunch of YouTubers. They all got canceled for the same shit. It was him. It was what's that other guy's name that used to do the interviews? He also got caught doing blackface, and
Oh
it's like
gosh.
they came through during the
I
Trisha
mean,
Paytas,
the
those.
first person that comes to mind is Shane Dawson, but I don't think
Yes,
that's right.
that's what I'm talking.
Oh,
Yes, it
he
was Shane
did.
Dawson. Yes, he has a blackface video where he's also trying to affect the sassy black woman archetype, and it's done poorly. It's done very, very poorly. Um, Someone that got caught in the crosshairs in that, and I don't think that she deserved it, was Jenna Marbles.
Yeah.
She did a Nicki Minaj impersonation, and everybody
Mhm.
called it blackface, and I'm like, no, that she did not do blackface. She did a Nicki Minaj impersonation, and she was dead on. She sounded just like Nicki. Like
Yeah.
y'all were being super extra sensitive, but she did apologize and say she didn't mean
And then
nothing
she quit
by it.
YouTube over it.
Yeah, she did. I think she's on Spotify now. I think she
Oh,
does.
okay. Well, she wound up all right.
Yeah, the thing with cancellation, it's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare for someone to get canceled permanently unless they really did some stuff like SA, or like even if they
Yeah.
did regular
Well,
assault.
I
Like
mean,
Chris Brown is still touring. And
as
he's
weird as it is, like, okay, it was in the 90s, canceling wasn't really a thing, but they couldn't cancel Michael Jackson over his allegations.
no. Well, the thing is, he literally got investigated by the FBI, I believe it was,
Mm-hmm.
and the FBI cleared him of charges. So that's why people kind of were like, if the FBI can't find anything on you, then we'll just let it go. I'm still
Yeah.
looking at the parents weird. Like, why would like y'all have to be some type of money grubbing to be like, okay, I'll
Mm-hmm.
let my child spend a night in a man's bed? Like, y'all are weird. All of you are weird.
No, no, that sounds wrong.
Yeah, it sounds very, very wrong. Why
I
are you
mean,
guys doing this?
unless Michael Jackson was telling them stuff like, I'm asexual, it's nothing like that. But I mean, that's a closed door conversation.
Yeah, and also Michael, you live like I love Michael Jackson. Don't take this the wrong way, because Michael Jackson fans, they can be like the Barbs. I grew up on Michael Jackson. He is an
Mm-hmm.
icon. But
Mm-hmm.
just because you're an icon doesn't mean that we have to accept every single thing you do is
No,
okay.
no,
Everything's not okay. He
R.
is an
Kelly.
icon. I'm going to parallel this with Elvis. Both
Mm,
of them are cultural icons. But
yes.
Michael had no business having little boys say, "You live in Neverland Ranch. That house probably has 57 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
You want to, interact with the kids. You want them to stay over. They can have their own little apartment on the other side of your goddamn house if you want
Yeah.
to. And then you take them to the little park in the morning, if that's what you want to do to be charitable. The in the bed stuff, no. And
No,
this is why
that's
I
just,
paralleled it with Elvis. He was having slumber parties with little teenage girls.
uh-huh.
Also, hella fucking inappropriate.
Well,
But
Priscilla was underage when he met her
yes,
and he was courting her.
yeah, I think he dated her from 14 to 16 before marrying her.
I think so,
I
yeah.
think she was 16 when they married.
Mm-hmm.
And like, speaking of that, on TikTok, there is a little bit of it's a trend. It's a trend right now called "Grandma, You Were a Victim" is what they're calling it, because similar things like that, people are recounting the stories that their grandmothers told them of meeting their grandfather and
Mm-hmm.
how young. Like there was one girl, she was like, my grandmother told me she was skipping rope at 12 when my
Mm-hmm.
grandfather knocked on the door and asked her
To,
brothers if he could marry her. And since their parents had passed away and they didn't want to feed her anymore, they said, yeah. And
mm-hmm.
I'm,
Yeah.
and then it just ends
I
with him
mean,
saying, Grandma, you were a victim. Like,
that's a modern day way of viewing things, and I'm like, okay,
mhm.
yeah. I mean, things can take a turn, but I mean, it was also a different time. My grandparents grew up in a time where arranged marriage was a normal thing too.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's not a foreign concept to me.
Oh no, not at all. One of my grandmothers was, I want to say she was 16 when she gave birth to my father, and she got married at 15, and that was
Mm-hmm.
just. Whereas my other grandmother, she didn't have my mother till she was 29. It was like
Mm-hmm.
they're the polar opposites of how their lives were. I
Yeah,
will
I
tell you, the
mean,
one that had the children at 29 was way happier than the one that had the children at 15. So
yes, yeah.
yeah,
She very likely didn't know what she was doing, even if
yeah,
mother-in-law was there to help her.
hmm
I'm like, mentally, you're not ready to handle that. Like,
no,
in my opinion.
and to add insult to injury, she was pregnant for 6 years straight because
Oh.
between my father and my aunts and uncles, she had a baby in 1949,
Mm-hmm.
1950, 1951, 1952,
Oh,
1953, and 1954.
poor woman.
Yeah. And then she had my last aunt 10 years later in 1964. So that's like, I can't imagine being pregnant for 6 years straight. That's crazy. My God.
Mm-mm. No, I think it's funny, like nowadays,
Mhm.
because some people still favor large families,
Oh, yeah.
and I think it's funny when somebody says to another person, and I'm basing this off of a conversation I read on Facebook years ago, but um, one girl says to another, "Oh, you just had a baby, I think X amount of years ago, and she had X amount, like maybe she already had six, and she was pregnant
Mhm.
again, and she's telling her, 'You're so brave,' and I'm like, no." That's called biology and having hot pants. I'm like, brave has nothing to do with popping out a kid.
Yeah, I've said that before too because I used to get so annoyed when like I would be out places when I was younger in my 20s, and the go-to excuse was I'm a mother, and
Yes.
in my mind I'm like, so are puppies and cats, like not
Mm-hmm.
puppies but dogs and cats, like show me once you have raised your child into a healthy, loving individual who actually adds something to society. Then I'm gonna say, hey, good job. You did that shit. But just popping them out, no, you don't.
No, that doesn't
I'm
make
not
you a
I'm not
mom.
giving I'm not giving you the credit until I see what the fruits of your labor are. If you
Mm-mm.
created another psycho or you brought another asshole into the world, I'm gonna hold back on that. I'm gonna wait and see how well you're
Mm.
doing. Then I'm gonna tell you. Like I just recently told my stepsister because her children are so awesome, and her and my brother-in-law, they really did an awesome job with their kids. Like my little nephew, he's very into computing, building computers and engineering. He just joined ROTC.
Oh, I
Their
loved
oldest
ROTC.
Yeah, their oldest daughter, she is on full ride scholarship, um, uh, playing softball in college, and I think they
Nice.
just are in like I think they're in some type of playoff situation. I don't follow softball that closely, so if I'm using the wrong terminology, I apologize. My middle niece, she is like me, and I am like her.
Hmm.
I love her so much. She I probably am probably on TikTok more because of her, because she's on TikTok, and
Okay.
she's you know gained a big following just from her doing her little dances, and I just think that's adorable.
That's
She's
cute.
very, very creative. Like, that's the one that's probably gonna invent something, because her mind works in super creative ways. All really
Hmm.
smart, super, super well mannered, lovely children, and that's why I told them I'm proud of you guys, because you guys
Hmm.
really, you know, tried your best to bring up well adjusted, confident, intelligent, kind children.
Yeah, and it's not that easy. There are
Mm-mm.
so many dysfunctional people out there. There are so many
Yeah.
bad people you can run into that'll just like hinder your development as you're growing up, and it just
Hmm.
changes you who you are, even if you were raised properly.
Oh
It's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
crazy.
I was talking to a friend of mine. We were talking about the things that we carry into adulthood from
Hmm.
childhood that you have to work extra hard to get over. Like, and it's not always from your parents. Sometimes it's from school situations, things that happen to
Hmm.
you in school that you're like, okay, I know this affects me in a certain way as an adult. One of the things I think I might not have brought up in that conversation, but I can use it as an example now, is I still remember being in middle school, specifically seventh grade, and eating my lunch in the library because I didn't want
Hmm.
to eat in the cafeteria because I didn't have anyone to eat with. And it was funny because I met a friend there we're still friends to this day.
Hmm.
She was eating her lunch in the library too. And so that's how we end up being friends. But yeah, those type of things still informs how I move through the world, because when I go into new situations, there is, as confident as I am now,
Hmm.
way, way, way back in the recess of my mind, there's still that little tiny piece of, am I going to be rejected again?
Hmm.
Because of that sense of rejection during that time. So I always work on minimizing that with myself. I was
Hmm.
reading something recently called about reparenting, they call it. And
Yes,
that's
nurturing your inner child.
yes. That's why, like, if I turn my camera on, all my horror toys back there, I just enjoy getting them. I just
Hmm.
got, oh, know what I just got? I got a Ghostbusters. You know what? Maybe I'll turn my camera on for a minute so I can show you guys. Let's see here. Uh, Let me angle this way because there is a little bit of a mess in my room, and I'm gonna see if I can like, not show that part if I angle the camera this way.
Hmm.
Let's see. Start cam. Yeah, there we go. Can't see it. I just got this. I've been wanting one of these.
Oh.
So I got it on Amazon for $17.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, that's how I nurture my inner child.
I remember playing with my friends, pretending that we had one of those, like we were trapping ghosts and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we have some comments here. We got to get caught up. Let's see.
Yeah, Marty was asking earlier if anybody remembers Bebo. To my understanding, that was a social network from the early
Yeah, yeah,
2000s.
yeah. I remember hearing about it. I remember hearing about Bebo.
It doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, he's saying it
JJ
might have
was
been.
saying nice.
He was saying it might have been a European thing. Tony Man says, "Let me sit here and be the old man that yells at the clouds in peace." Okay. I will. Um, uh, yeah, he says he never heard of Bebo.
I've never
Yeah,
heard of it.
False
Um,
Proxy Sessions is here. They say, hello, glad to see Karen and Lady Sasha back on here. We're glad to see you too. I like that little icon with the heart eyes. That's so cute. Um, JJ says they remember Bebo. There was
yes.
a question up thread. I didn't mean to skip it. JJ asked, anyone seen the indie movie Bellflower from 2011? I've
Oh,
not seen
there
that.
it is. I've never heard of it.
No. Let me see if I can look it up.
The title sounds pagan, which piques my interest.
Oh,
I mean, I could be totally wrong. In the
I found
meantime,
it.
my
Bellflower.
dog's practicing his opera voice in the background.
It says it's an action drama romance, rated R. Two friends spend all their time building flamethrowers and weapons of mass destruction in hopes that a global apocalypse will occur and clear the runway for their imaginary gang,
Hmm,
Mother Medusa.
that sounds
But the
cool.
thing is, if you wish for an apocalypse, how can you be sure you're going to survive the apocalypse? That's
Uh,
kind of,
Very road
but I can,
warrior.
yeah, but I can still see where this would be interesting.
And it looks like that's on Tubi,
Oh,
according
good.
to JJ. Well, that's cool. I've never heard of it.
It's on
Bellflower?
Pluto and Plex as well. If you don't have, if I'm only saying that because I know people in Europe don't have access to Tubi. which sucks
I
because
thought
it's such a.
I thought Europeans did have Tubi because I hear Marty talking about it here and there.
Oh, maybe he's using a VPN.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Because Terrence said that that they don't get Tubi in Scotland, so I figure maybe it was throughout Europe, but maybe it's just Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to. I'm dragging my feet about getting the internet set up in my home, which is why I'm not on my laptop. I'm on my mobile. But
Hmm.
I would love to get my internet set back up, especially because I love watching the MMA fights on Amazon whenever they broadcast.
Well, do you use your phone as a hotspot to like jump it to other things, or
I've done it. The thing is, the amount that I'm allotted per month isn't much. Like I can probably
oh yeah,
stream like one movie and it's gone.
yeah. Yeah, when I think about it, that's the same thing. I have like the lowest. I don't have unlimited on my phone. I usually turn it to unlimited 1 month of the year, and that's in August because when I leave out of town to go to Seattle
Mm,
for the Cabinet of Woods Film Festival, I need more service. I usually use the lowest on my phone because I'm using Wi-Fi.
mm-hmm,
And most places here in Orlando have free Wi-Fi. Whether you go to Walgreens, Target, if you're in downtown Winter Park, the park itself
mm-hmm.
has what free Wi-Fi. The malls have free, like almost everywhere you go has free Wi-Fi. So
Yeah.
you can kind of get along with the lowest that you need, and also GPS will work
Mm-hmm.
without using up all your data. So that's really cool. Shout out to Google Maps for whatever they did to keep your
Yeah.
Google Maps from using up all your data.
I didn't know that Apple also had like a Maps app. I'm like, it's terrible.
Oh yeah, people have driven off of cliffs because it's not updated as frequently as the Google Maps.
But apparently, supposedly, Apple's supposed to be so great. Like, being kind of like an Apple junkie, supposed to be like a status symbol, but their
Oh
app is
yeah.
doo doo.
No, their stuff is not. I mean, I right now I'm on a MacBook Pro. I have enjoyed using my computers, and I still have an iPad. Where is it? Where
Hmm.
is that brick? It's sitting around here somewhere. There it is. It's right
Oh,
here.
okay. Oh,
I
I still have my iPad too. I still haven't updated
Yeah.
mine.
I don't use that anymore. I have a Samsung tablet,
Oh,
and
okay.
um I don't like iPhones at all. As a
Oh,
matter of
okay.
fact, they're being sued right now.
Oh, I didn't know that. I have an iPhone, and that's only because it's easier for me to transfer files between my phone
Hmm.
and my computer. Like if I film something on my phone, I'm like,
Hmm.
I can just airdrop it to my computer and I don't have to worry
Oh.
about plugging stuff in or all this other nonsense.
Yeah, I don't keep anything locally on my devices because I've had my last MacBook Pro quit on me and
Mm-hmm.
everything was on there. And if no one else around you has a Mac product, you can't get to your stuff. So ever
Yes,
since my
it
last MacBook
sucks.
Pro died, I don't save anything locally and I don't save anything on the iCloud.
Mm-mm.
I use Google Drive instead because I can pull up my Google Drive on anything. I can pull up my Google Drive on my Mac. I can pull it up on my Android
Mm-hmm.
phone. I can pull
Mm-hmm.
up on a Samsung tablet. It does any computer. You can pull up your Google Drive. And when I take videos, I don't save them locally to my phone. It goes straight to my Google Photos. So
Yes, I back up
yeah,
my photos and videos to Google.
yeah.
I do have Google Drive. I should start using that more. The iCloud is due to like I got a new phone
Hmm.
and I had something on there like merge accounts, and I'm like, okay, sure, I don't see any harm in that. I'm like, I lost X amount of photos doing that. I'm like, you suck.
Hmm. And they try to charge you for so much. Like they give you from what I hear from my younger sister that uses iCloud, they only give you so much space, and then they start charging you monthly to
Mm-hmm.
store your stuff. And I'm like, I mean, they do have that on Google Drive if you need like a super amount of file storage, but I have not needed that much file storage yet. I believe I have like 100 gigs, and I haven't.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think I.
after that mix up, I'm like, I'd rather just give my money to Google.
Mhm. Oh, I was saying about the lawsuit. Apple is being sued because their phones
Mm-hmm.
are violate some type of law where where it's like something to do with a monopoly, because like if you have an Android phone, there's open source tech on there. Like you can look at all types of apps, but if you only have an Apple phone, you can only look at Apple apps. You can't look at any other company apps.
Yeah, the platform locked or whatever it is they call it.
Yeah.
But I always thought, okay, well, if I download like Google Chrome or this other stuff, I would still be able to access.
Hmm. But I think they're talking about like the smaller apps, like maybe just games and stuff like that. Maybe
Mm.
they're talking about, because I know certain games, there's like an Apple version and there's an Android version,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that type of thing. But they Apple has been in a lot of lawsuits. I remember when I was in grad school way back in 2011,
Yeah.
they were being sued by Samsung for backwards engineering some of their software,
Oh.
and that the outcome of that lawsuit is part of the reason why Apple phones still don't have Gorilla Glass, because the company that provides the Gorilla Glass for certain Android phones refuses to work with Apple.
Hmm. Well, obviously there's a reason for it.
Yeah. They just need to just update their practices, because I think they don't need to be as I think they see it as being exclusive, but it's becoming more cumbersome than exclusive.
Yeah, it's more annoying than anything, and not just that, but early iPhones were more sturdy than the modern day ones.
Yes. Yes. I have to agree with that. And I still miss my first iPod. I had the white one that had 128 gigs. I had
Mm-hmm.
so much. I had like 7 days worth of music on that joint. And then they kept on making iPods smaller and smaller, and then
Yes.
making them with less they less memory, not memory. My mind is blanking. Less file space. Like they went from
Mm-hmm.
128 gigs all the way down to like 36 or 8. I think there was one
Yeah, the
that had only
smallest
had
was an
8.
8 gig.
And
Yeah,
I'm like, that's
that's
ridiculous.
nothing.
Like,
Um, yeah, because my first iPod was an iPod Touch, an iPod
mhm.
4. And
Yeah.
I'm like, a lot of my early videos are filmed on that. And like, I didn't know how to video compress yet. So yeah, they're not the best quality, but
Mhm. I
it
think I
got me
still
going.
do. I still have my iPod around? Yes, it's right here. I still use it sometimes because here it is. This is, I don't know what version iPod this is. There it is. Let's see. I'm trying to show the back just to let people know that as I'm talking about iPad or Mac, I
Hmm.
have used this one's only 16 gigs. I've used their products for 20 years, as a matter of fact. No, longer. Because the first
Hmm.
computer I had in 1986, my grandparents bought us an Apple II with
Hmm.
the double disk drive, and like that's how long I've been using Apple products. So it's not a Android versus iPhone conversation. I'm just saying, as a consumer, I have kind of fell out of love with some of their products. Still like
Yes.
the computer so much. I mean, I like my laptop. I can do a lot as far as like editing, and a lot of their software for creatives are still pretty good.
Hmm.
Um, I just don't like their the tablets, the iPad and iPhone just don't hold up to me, to like
Mm.
what Samsung is coming up with. Oh, I don't even know how we got in this conversation. Let's get back into.
Um, I don't remember
Oh,
how it started.
oh, I
Which
remember, because we were talking about Tubi's availability, and
yes,
then we started
yes,
talking about, yeah. J, what is it? JJMP said it's on Tubi. Mystic Mac said, "Dang, Tubi has everything."
yes,
Um,
they usually do. They're
mhm.
my go-to. I love them.
Slipknot fan says, Did you guys like Ghostbusters 2? I never realized it wasn't well received by fans. I thought it was pretty good, and Vigo the Carpathian was a
I
great
like
villain."
it.
I loved it. I remember going to see it in a movie theater.
Hmm.
I even learned Bobby Brown's lyrics.
I mean, this is the one that sticks out to me the most.
Hmm. I thought it was
Is
just as
this
good as the
one?
first, honestly. I didn't know people didn't like Ghostbusters 2. That's really fascinating to me because I liked it. And I like even the characters. Where are you from? The Upper West Side? Because
Oh,
you don't expect, you know that she means like, what country are you from? But his answer was hilarious.
hmm.
Um,
Let me see.
where am I?
Low Lives was also a great new horror movie that just
Yes,
came out. I haven't
I
heard of it.
mentioned I meant to mention that. Low Lives. Oh, it was really, really good. When you want to talk about subverting expectations, This movie truly subverts expectations. I suggest anybody who's going to watch Low Lives, don't watch the trailer. Just go into it blind, and you'll have so much fun. It is a what type of horror movie do I describe it as? Um, without spoiling it, I'll just say it's a situation where a person has to escape deranged individuals.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your type of horror, definitely watch Low Lives. It was really, really, really. I need to do a full review of it because I was impressed by it. And it's also a Tubi original movie. So I
Oh,
mean, they're
okay,
coming
cool.
up. They're coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Slipknot fan says I saw the people under stairs recently. Ving Rhames was really funny in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, very
He's good.
underrated movie.
I like that one. I
Hmm.
don't consider it underrated, or maybe it's just because I grew up watching it.
Hmm. I think when I say underrated, I mean when it comes to Wes Craven movies.
Mm.
Like people would are always all over, obviously Nightmare on Elm Street, classic, but also I feel like Scream is a little overrated.
Yeah,
I it's a,
I mean, obviously, I wouldn't know any better just because I lack life experience. But I've heard people argue, well, he didn't write a believable black character, and I'm like, well, I wouldn't know because I haven't known too many.
I thought Kincaid was believable. I like Kincaid. He was in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, which was a screenplay that Wes Craven wrote the screenplay for Nightmare on Elm Street 3, but he didn't direct Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Hmm.
Um, Let me think. And the people on the stairs, they all the black characters were believable to me.
I mean, to me, it made sense. I mean, like you're poor,
Yeah.
you're living on the bad side of town, you're hanging on to whatever you can keep hold of, and
I'm trying to figure out what they
somebody's
consider
trying to rip it all away from you.
I'm trying to figure out whether what they consider realistic. Are
Hmm.
they self stereotyping? Because that does happen where people have internalized racism and they think because something isn't what they're considering black enough, which is also
Oh, I've
problematic.
heard
And
of that.
yeah, we can get into what is considered black enough, especially when you're thinking about America that has so many regions and so many cultures. The way a person from the Bronx acts is not going to be the same way a person
No.
that's from Long Beach acts. I
Yeah,
don't know
and
where. I would say by looking at it, it looks like the people on the stairs takes place in California, and the people that are in it sound like how I've heard Californians sound. So I don't know. They might just be one of those type of people that criticize everything.
I mean, it could
which,
be. I
yeah,
mean,
which
the first thing that comes to mind is like how you said you can't compare regions, but the first thing that came to mind was like Candyman versus People Under the Stairs. I'm like, they're very different.
Yes, very, very different. And I can see some of the criticisms of Candyman, but what people have to understand about Candyman is because they race swapped the lead character, the story is gonna have that type of plot hole element because in the original short story for Candyman,
Hmm.
he was a white red-haired man. So
Oh, okay.
certain attributes that have been ascribed to Candyman because it was made um in America and because they added that backstory of um,
The plantation
the
and all that.
plantation that it gives a different cultural context than the original story. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a plot hole there.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I haven't read
well,
the original short story. I do know it makes reference to 5th of November, the like the whole climax and everything.
mhm. I do. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, the plot hole that people often mention with Candyman is because of in the movie how he died at the hands of these racist white dudes. They were asking why would he come to the hood and kill black people,
Hmm.
and that is a good question because it kind of doesn't make
It
sense
doesn't make sense.
if these are the people that tortured you and kill you, then why would you kill them? Like that doesn't make sense. So
Hmm.
that plot hole I can completely understand.
Yeah,
But I
that
thought
makes
Ving Rhames
sense.
acted like a black man in People on the Stairs. I thought that I loved the character of Fool because number
Hmm.
one, when that movie came out, he and I are the actor who plays him are the same age.
Oh,
So when I
okay.
saw him, I'm like, oh my god, it's a little, number one, a little black child who's a protagonist in a
Hmm.
horror
And you
movie.
don't see that much.
No, not at all. And he's brave
Um,
and he's funny and he's scared. He's scared when he needs to be scared. Like it's relatable.
yeah, I mean, especially myself growing up, like stuff like that to me was a big deal because I mean, I'm not Anglo, so like whenever I would
Mhm.
see people on, like in film that were my own culture and like they made a movie about, I don't know, even if it wasn't like very favorable, but like say for example,
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of an example that probably wouldn't be too outdated.
No,
Like
use
Once We're
whatever example.
Warriors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's a heavy Hispanic cast, and I was excited because
Mhm.
I was like, that's in my mind. I'm like, hey, I hardly ever see like me. I hardly ever see my people,
Mhm.
and I mean, to me, that was exciting.
I still remember the excitement. It was, I would say it's a bittersweet excitement when Selena came to the movie theater. It was
Hmm.
bittersweet because the real Selena had passed away, and she
Hmm.
was just about to be huge. And then it was
Hmm.
also
Yes.
bittersweet because this is about a see, I would start to say Mexican, but I think it's more appropriate to say like um Tejano or Chicano singer, because I
Hmm.
remember there's a part of the movie where she's talking about how she doesn't really speak Spanish. She just
Yeah,
sings it. But I think it was I'll
but
miss if they
it's
have Jennifer Lopez play her because that's a whole Puerto
she's Puerto
Rican.
Rican.
Anyway, like, like she did a decent job, but
She did.
it's a little wrong to do that, guy. It's like, uh,
Well, I mean, no. I mean, like, for example, like the musical Evita. I mean, you had an Italian playing an Argentine woman.
yes, this is true. Very, very true. They do well, they do it all the time. That several of the characters that were in oh god, the Joy Luck Club
Hmm.
were actually I think one was Japanese and one was Vietnamese, and they're playing Chinese.
Oh, okay.
So it's like they do well. They just recently had a movie on Netflix called I think it was called The Irishman, and it starred Robert De Niro. And I'm like, that's not an
He's
Irish
not
name.
Irish.
Like, it's like Hollywood
I
is like, we don't care.
Oh no, like very, very old school Hollywood. Like
Hmm.
I know it'd be considered offensive now, but like they would do people's makeup like instead of hiring an Asian
Oh
actor to
yeah.
play an Asian character, they would do your makeup to make you look a certain way.
Oh yeah.
And
Yellow
I'm
face.
like, yeah, and it's like, dude, you look so ridiculous.
Hmm. Oh, Tony Man mentioned you had an Italian playing a Cuban in a movie. Yeah, that was Scarface. Yeah, Al
Mm-hmm.
Pacino played.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Which is ironic because the original Scarface was Italian American, and in the movie, the first one from the 1930s or 40s,
Yeah, 40s, I
starred
think.
Italian. For some reason, they changed the story to be Cuban instead of Italian, but still hired an Italian. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, for that, you should have just left the character Italian. Why did you change it to Cuban so you could shoot in Miami?
Pretty
You just wanted to
much.
shoot in Miami. There was something I was gonna say. I forgot what I was gonna say about the um. I lost my train of
Oh,
thought.
Edward James Olmos is underrated in Selena. He cracks me up in that
Yes.
movie. I don't know if it's just me. Like, I mean, yes, it's very tragic, and I think she was like 23. She was still a
Mhm.
baby, but
Yeah.
I don't like the way that she's portrayed in the film. Like, I feel like it's very, very corny.
Mm.
Like she still comes off as the all-American girl, which makes her relatable in that area. I grew up
Mhm.
in a border town in Texas, so it's believable that she doesn't speak Spanish, even if she can sing it, because it just makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, but I just don't like the way like I don't think they made her realistic enough.
Mhm.
Like she was too much of a good girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, well, biopics tend to be like that unless it's about someone like Jerry Lee Lewis. Like
Oh
that
yeah,
biopic, they had to show. Like I will never forget the baby carriage scene where they rolled the baby carriage out onto stage
yes,
because he married his 13-year-old cousin. Like
yeah.
we have
Well, so
we
did
had
Edgar Allan Poe, but nobody batted an eye.
yeah. It's wild. Let me see what else. The original
Just to
Candyman probably.
answer Slipknot really quick. Sorry, I was in the middle of pulling it up. Yes,
Mhm.
Once We're Warriors. It
Mhm.
was a heavily Hispanic cast, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, at the time because I was a kid, we still talk about underrepresentation, and
Oh yeah.
like when Encanto was out, I'm like, you saw so many little kids that were so excited and happy
Oh
just
yes.
because they saw the TV and they're like, that's me.
That movie almost made me cry. And what's funny, when I was looking at Encanto, um, if I pull up the picture, I think I Let me pull up the picture of let's see, Encanto.
Yeah, I'm and
Especially since
it's
I wear glasses.
mm-hmm.
There's a picture, this right here with the dolls. This right
Oh,
here.
okay.
That looks like me and my sister.
Oh.
Especially when I have my glasses on and my this is a half wig that I have on. My hair is shorter. It only comes to like right here, but the this comes all the way down to my waist because I just felt like it. But yeah, I just thought finally representation that looks real, that looks like
Mm-hmm.
us. Because a lot of times when they do show um especially people in the Latin American culture, it's more, you see more Jennifer Lopez than you see Zoe Saldana, and
Yeah.
it's like there's hella Zoe Saldanas walking around here too,
Well,
or
not
and you.
just that, like Sofia Vergara, for example,
Hmm.
she was on that TV show with Ed O'Neill. I can't remember what it's called,
Oh,
but
Modern Family.
yes, and
Yeah.
she's naturally a blonde. That's her real skin tone, but they made her dye her hair so she could look more Hispanic.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it should have. They should have let her be the way she was. I wanted to
Because
ask you.
we're not all cookie cutter, and not just that,
Hmm.
like we're I mean, same as any other culture. I'm like, no two Anglos are the same shade of white. I mean, no ethnic person is the same shade either.
Exactly. There was two actors I want to ask you about how you felt about Melissa Barrera and Jenny Ortega.
I
They
like
seem to be
Jenny
coming on.
Ortega.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like her
I've
too.
recently discovered her because of Wednesday, and
Mhm.
um I like the Wednesday character. I think she's a good actor.
Oh no, we lost her. Let's see if she jumps back on. While she's gone, let me see if we missed any comments. Okay, Mystic Max said never could stand exclusivity, the exclusivity of Apple. You can only wear earbuds and an iPhone as long as they're Apple brand. Yeah, that's very annoying. Tony Man says, speaking of Apple and Samsung, how about that movie? Yeah, yeah, we'll circle back around to that. Um, Mr. Max says, need to see that one, Tony Man, talking about Stand and Deliver. Slipknot fan says, I thought Once Were Warriors was about Maori gangs. Yes, there is a movie called We Once Were Warriors. That was a really, really good movie, too. Um, can be sad. It's a drama, mostly, for anybody going in. Marty says, wait, wasn't Once Were Warriors Maori set in New Zealand? Um, Tomaria Morrison. It was about Kiwi biker gangs. Yeah, I think there's two movies. One is called Once Were Warriors, and one was called We Once Were Warriors, I think. I
Yeah,
think there's a one word difference. Uh,
yes.
and then Misty Mac says Jenny Ortega is going to be in the Beetlejuice sequel. Yeah, I
Yes.
saw some on-set photos.
Yeah, I was commenting on that right before I got kicked out of the stream. I don't know what happened. Um, and same thing there. Like I like how we're using more. I think she's a really good actor. I mean, it
Mhm.
doesn't really matter her ethnicity, but I like that more Hispanic people are giving more opportunities, like in mainstream media. Like just to go back really quick, like early 2000s, the George Lopez show. A lot of
Mhm.
Hispanics argued he's too white.
It's given the same people under scares that or under the what, not people under stairs. What you said earlier, the criticism, he doesn't write black characters well. And I'm just
Yeah, I mean,
I
to me, he's relatable because I grew up more American than anything. Like, I'm not
Mhm.
heavily ethnic, so it's possible that comment could have come from people that are more ethnic, expecting that type of representation.
Mhm.
But no, I'm very American.
Mhm. Tony Man says I first saw Ortega on X. Yes, she did. I believe she played like a PA when they were shooting the film, and then she decided that she wanted to be in the film in the movie X. Also, Melissa Barrera. I didn't care for her so much in the Scream movies, but I liked her better just recently in Abigail. I think she got more to do in Abigail. Maybe that's why.
I'm not
Uh,
familiar with her.
Slipknot fans still can't find Once We Were Warriors movie. And he's asking who is the main star. Marty says who's looking forward to Furiosa. At
I,
first I wasn't because I didn't understand the recasting because I liked Charlize Theron as Furiosa,
but it's a
but
prequel.
yeah, I do understand. Yeah, I do understand the
Yeah.
prequel, and I kind of like that big-eyed girl. I
Mhm.
I forget her name, but I like her. She was in The Witch, and she was in that The Menu. Um,
Da.
I
Taylor
remember.
Joy, Anya Taylor
Yes,
Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy. Which, by the way, I think she's half Latina. It's Let me see. I think she
I
is.
think she's European.
Let me see. No, 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 not. Wait. Yeah, her father's Argentinian.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But her mother is European, so I think she was raised over there. I think was raised somewhere in Britain, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and I think the same thing with what's that screamy girl that I said I didn't like her that much? She was also an ex, and she was in um
Barenta something. No, I'm
ah,
just making up names. I don't remember the girl's name.
she was also in Pearl. I'm gonna be a star. That girl. What is her
Oh,
name? Ah, she has no eyebrows.
yeah. For the longest time, I never noticed she didn't have eyebrows.
Mia Goth. Thank you. Wait, forgot this isn't a touchscreen.
Yeah, we had JJ, Tony, and Max saying Mia Goth,
Yeah,
and Marty.
she's half Latino, but not half Hispanic because her mother is from Brazil and
Hmm.
her father's Canadian.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So they're floating under the radar. Those two.
Yeah, there's a lot more of us than people realize. I'm thinking.
Hmm.
I still haven't seen Pearl. I haven't seen X, but I'm excited about Maxine, which I don't know if that makes any sense.
I'm not sure you have to see them to understand it because I don't think you have to
They're
see
not
X.
tied in.
They are. Pearl is a prequel to X, so if you were to watch them in order, you would watch Pearl, then X, then Maxine. But I
Hmm.
think they work well on their own. Like I think
Okay.
you could watch Pearl without having seen X, and you could watch X
Hmm.
without having seen Pearl.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I love blind watching stuff, but I love Ty West. I did watch that trailer for
yes.
Maxine.
Yeah, I've liked him since oh God, it was a movie shot in
Innkeepers?
Connecticut. Not Innkeepers, before Innkeepers. Why can't my mind is blanking so much
I
today.
mean, the next one that comes to mind is House of the
House of the
Devil, but
Devil. That's the
yeah.
one. House of the Devil. He actually ended up writing the Innkeepers because of House of the Devil, because they shot that in Connecticut, and the inn that they stayed in, he thought was felt haunted. So
Oh, okay.
he ended up writing the Innkeepers about the place that he stayed in Connecticut while shooting House of the Devil. But yeah, I've liked him since House of the Devil.
Yes, especially his filming style, which is what I really appreciate. He
Mhm.
uses the same film techniques from that same period of
Yeah,
time that
from
he's
that era.
portraying.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to see what he's gonna do with the '80s because he's done the '70s, and when
Mm-hmm.
he did Pearl, he kinda mixed them a little bit. He mixed 1940s and '50s together, even though
Oh,
Pearl takes place in the 1910s during the Spanish flu epidemic, but
okay.
the filming style is like a 1940s/1950s movie, and it gives you the feel of whatever happened to Baby Jane with mixed with Psycho. Like that's the way I've been describing it as the feel that it gave me.
Hmm. I haven't seen Baby Jane in years. I've only seen it once. I
Mm,
liked it though.
I liked it too. I quote it all the time. You aren't ever gonna leave this house, and you aren't ever gonna get out of that chair. We have a few. Let me go back up here. Slipknot says, yeah, anyone can join the chat. Welcome. Horrible Fridge says, thank you. I love it. Calm horror chat. Welcome, Horror Fridge. Mr. Max says, can't wait for Maxine. Horrible Fridge says, Maxine will take ages to arrive in the
Sure.
UK cinemas. I am jealous. Um, that's how I feel about not so much the cinemas, but on streaming.
Mm,
Because I keep talking about Godzilla minus one, and I feel frustrated because I can't show it to anyone because it's not streaming anywhere. So if you didn't catch it in the theaters, we
yeah.
don't know when we're going to get a US release. Like, I'm like, I really want more people to see Godzilla minus one. It was so good.
Mm,
And I say that because it's like, being the age that I am, I'm in my 40s also. I grew up watching those old Godzilla movies and also Mothra and also Gamera,
yes.
which is not the same company as Godzilla, but they go together in my head. I still love Gamera. Um,
Hmm.
so I have like a special affinity towards Godzilla, but I didn't like the American versions, and I never could put my finger on what it is that they're not getting. Like Godzilla 96 had some good effects, but it's not rewatchable. I never want to rewatch it.
I
I
like it.
Yeah, I watched the Godzilla versus Kong movies, and again, great effects. The fight scenes are interesting, but I hate the human characters in the
Mm,
American versions. I just don't like the human characters. I don't care about them. Godzilla minus one is almost the opposite. You care about these characters. Like, it is everything you want in a dramatic movie that's also a war movie that's also a monster movie. It's just
hmm.
it's really, really great. Like, it should I think it did get one Oscar. I think it got an Oscar for special effects, and I think it was made for something like $8 million, like something really, really low, but it looks amazing, and it makes you scared of Godzilla again. I haven't
Hmm.
been scared of Godzilla since I was a child, and I was like,
Yes.
there were scenes that really made me kinda, jump back because of just the timing and, um a good way to describe it is it's also a disaster film, because when Godzilla goes through that city, you see the people living the disaster that is Godzilla saying, fuck this building, fuck that train,
Yes.
step on this person. Like, you see the actual like fear and carnage. It was just so well done. I can't say enough how good Godzilla minus one was. Let me go back. I'm
Oh, I
gonna go
liked
back.
Shin Godzilla. I liked how you
Yeah,
went through the developmental stages.
yes, and there's some callbacks to that. In Godzilla minus one, there's some callbacks to Shin Godzilla. Well, let me read what Marty's saying. Godzilla minus one is a day one physical purchase for me. Minus one and Shin make Godzilla scary again. Yes, exactly. There's
Hmm.
callbacks to Shin Godzilla in Godzilla minus one. Or not, I shouldn't say callbacks, I should say references, because
Hmm.
technically I think Godzilla minus one happens before Shin Godzilla, but certain things in Godzilla minus one reference things that were going to happen in Shin Godzilla, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to
Oh, okay.
remember because I haven't I watched this. Did I watch it before Christmas? When did Godzilla minus one come out? It feels like it's been a few months.
Was it 2022?
No, no, no. It's recent. It
No,
either
no, I'm
came out.
sorry. I got stuck on Shin Godzilla.
Oh, that one. No, I'm not sure what year that came out.
No, it's
It
older
might
than
have been.
22, I think. Um,
Okay.
I saw
Horrible
minus
Fridge.
one on Christmas Eve. It gave me tears. I agree with you.
Yes.
Everything you praised is it for.
Yes, it really did make you like you were rooting for the characters. When I watched the American Godzilla, I'm not rooting for Millie Bobby Brown. I really don't care. Like, why are you here? You're just in the way. We know nothing's gonna happen to you anyways because you have plot armor. But this one, I was like, man, I hope he makes. I think his name was Zatochi. Let me see. There it is. What was that character's name? Koichi. I think his name was Koichi. Yeah, I was rooting for Koichi, rooting for Noriko. Like, they ah I don't want to give away anything else. I'm not gonna give away anything else because it was dramatic. Like,
Tony Man says Cars. Think Jaws, but with Godzilla.
I think even more so than even Jaws.
Oh,
Because is there any characters in Jaws you really care about? I just came to see the shark eat people.
yes. You didn't
um,
like Shin Godzilla because of the expanding jaw. I liked the variation where he was dragging himself on the ground and he had those big googly eyes. It looked like sunny side up eggs.
and Godzilla -1 brought back. I don't know what you want to call it. Godzilla's powering up. Like if you watch the very old Godzilla,
Hmm.
his scales light up, and then they like light up from the tail to the head, and then when he breathes the fire, like they brought that back. They didn't have that. I don't think they had that in Godzilla '96.
Mm-mm.
Um, yeah, that was
I don't
uh
think the American Godzilla does that either.
okay. Horrible Fridge says,
Legendary.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Horrible Fridge says Tom Noonan doesn't have any kids. Satanic horror, love it. Um, Marty says,
Uh,
I'm very worried about Alien Romulus. I heard some shit. Oh, well, that's unfortunate because the teaser I saw, it really looked like they captured kind of the feel of the original Alien movies. And I think they were using some of the same score. So that's disappointing to hear that there might be some issues.
hmm.
Mystic Max says he didn't know Ty West directed House of the Devil. He does want to see -1. He's heard nothing but good things. And I think we're caught up. Marty says, yeah, Godzilla's regenerative capabilities.
Hmm.
And Slipknot says, I cared about all three guys in Jaws, Brody, Hooper, and Quint. I'm glad you did.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Which one of them says, I think we're going to need a bigger boat? I don't, I
Was
should
that
learn those
Brody?
characters' names. I don't know. I didn't, it's and many times as I have watched Jaws and I won't apologize for this. Jaws 3D, which I love. I know a lot of people hate that movie, but I
Oh,
enjoy it.
I mean, it's kind of boring, but it's not bad.
Hmm.
Is that the one where they're stuck on the boat, that little sailboat out in the middle of the ocean?
No, no, no. I think that's
No, that's
Jaws 2,
the
The
3D's the
Revenge.
SeaWorld one.
Yes.
I like
That,
that one.
hmm I think that's a lot of fun.
No, I okay, so I like Jaws 3D. I don't like the one where they're out on the sailboat. Was
Mm.
that one the Battle of the Mothers?
Yeah, I think that's Jaws 2, The Revenge is the
Oh,
one
okay.
on a
I'm
sailboat.
getting my Jaws mixed up now.
Mhm.
But yeah, you've got a Mother's Day Jaws, you've got a 4th of July Jaws, the first one. Um, I think they're just good summer movies in general.
Mhm. Now, to swing it back around to our original topic, I would say skip Festival of the Dead. I'm sorry, Festival of the Living
Literally.
Dead, and watch Low Lives instead. We should have done a review for Low Lives. It's also on Tubi. Much better movie. I should say it's much better as far as more enjoyable. But if you like zombie horror gore, then you probably will enjoy Festival of the Living Dead. Um, if you like more of a, I don't know what type of horror you call it. What do you categorize stuff like The Hills Have Eyes, The Strangers, um, Last House on the Left,
Like
like that? Those, what do you
invasion horror?
hmm?
Like invasion films?
Yeah, maybe invasion horror.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call those. If you like that style of horror movie, then I would say watch Low Lives.
Oh, okay. Oh, that
And you
wouldn't be.
won't understand why it's named that way until like maybe uh the 30-minute mark of the movie. That's when you'll understand why it's called Low Lives.
Hmm.
Um Slipknot fan says Jaws Revenge is the fourth movie with Brody's wife and Michael Caine. Then what's
Yes.
Jaws 2? I don't remember it now. Maybe
I
I
just
gotta
know it
rewatch
as the
it.
Battle of the Mothers.
Hmm. I didn't know there was a Jaws 4. I only thought there was 3. Now I have to revisit the Jaws franchise, which I
Yeah,
do
you've
every
got
couple of years
get
anyways,
down.
but I don't remember there being a fourth Jaws movie. That's wild.
The one I haven't worked my way through is all of the Psycho films. I think that one has 4 also.
Yes, I think so. I really enjoy Psycho 2 and 3. I mean, I enjoy the
Um,
first Psycho as well. Like it's also a masterpiece.
I
Like I
just
can't say there's anything wrong with Psycho. Like there's no criticism I can give Psycho. It's
the only
amazing.
the only thing I remember about Psycho 2 is Meg Tilly.
Hmm.
Psycho 3 was the one with the nun, I think, and I haven't seen the fourth one yet.
Hmm. The fourth one, I all I remember from that one is Norman has a lot of flashbacks about his upbringing.
Mm.
That's all I remember is him kind of explaining the things that his mother did to him that made him, snap basically.
Mm-hmm.
Mystic Max says, I watched Psycho 2 for the first time recently. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Oh,
It's
by the way,
oh, there goes Herschel.
mhm. By the way, Psycho 3 is directed by Anthony Perkins. So,
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
mhm. But I do have to wrap up soon because I'm gonna go out soon. So, do you have any final thoughts?
Um, my final thoughts: Festival of the Dead, skippable. I was hesitant to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was okay for what it was, especially because it was a free movie, so I
Mm-hmm.
have no complaints there. If you're into George Romero, skip it because it adds nothing to the universe.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Tony Man says that Kara has to watch Amityville Death Toilet.
Ooh, that sounds like something I would watch.
I
I
think that might be on Tubi also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a movie in my save list called Toilet Shark.
Oh, wow. Let me find that. Toilet Shark. I hadn't heard of that one. It's not coming up on IMDb. What the heck? That's been happening recently. I think since Amazon bought IMDb, it hasn't been as great with finding things. I might have to go to Letterbox. A lot of times I have to go to Letterbox to find certain things that should be listed on IMDb.
Yeah, I liked IMDb TV better than Freevee.
Yeah.
Let me see. Marty says Jaws 4 novelization has a voodoo witch doctor controlling the shark and sets up the backstory with the witch docs, where the witch doctor had a feud with the Brodies because Chief Brody put him in prison when he was a city cop.
Okay, that's so convoluted, but I'm
And that sounds
entertained.
wild.
Horrible Fridge. Yes, I have Zombie Ass saved. It's a Japanese movie. It does have I think that there's a longer title. Is that Zombie Ass? It's like something like Toilet of the Dead or something.
Slipknot. The plot for Jaws 4 novelization sounds
Yeah,
amazing. I'm like, it sounds wild.
it is.
I would rather have
It
seen
is.
that movie.
Yeah, it is called Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. It's a
Oh,
Japanese
okay.
movie. Yeah. Yeah, that's on my watch list. And let me see where I'm pull up where it's streaming so I can tell you guys if anybody's interested in such things. And no, Tony Man, before you even type it, I'm not watching what was it, The Legend of Stank Mouth or whatever the one you keep asking me to watch. Yeah, Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead is on Tubi.
There was one I watched on Tubi only because of the title, and what was it called? It was
Mhm.
the Terror of Fart Blood Lake.
Yes, I have that saved. It's called, this is the one Tony Man keeps asking me to watch. Halitosis, The Legend of Stank Mouth.
Ah,
I actually I have
that's
a
clever.
before I go, I have a list I made of movies that I have either watched or want to watch based on the title. And I'll just give
Mm-hmm.
you the first few because it's the list is super long. One is called Night of the Day of the Dawn of the Son of the Bride of the Return of the Terror. I have that to watch. This one I've seen already. The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies.
Oh, I've heard
Um,
of that one. I haven't seen it.
mhm. Um, Here's some quick ones that I already watched. Of course, I grew up watching Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
I love
Um,
those.
I saw The Ginger Dead Man. I've watched Hobo with a Shotgun. We I think we mentioned this one earlier. Dead Hooker in a Trunk.
Mm-hmm.
There's a horror movie called Kids Go in the Woods, Kids Get Dead.
Hmm.
It has a sequel, Kids Get Dead 2, The Kids Get Deader.
It reminds
Uh,
me randomly. It's a trauma film. I liked it. I don't know if you've heard of
mhm.
it. Caution, Kids at Play.
No, I haven't seen that one. But I did
That's
see
pretty good.
Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead.
Oh, I hated that one.
That one
Especially the
is a
song and dance numbers. I'm like,
yeah,
really?
the singing is not great. I also have on here Alien Tampon, Killer Condom,
I still haven't
Monst
seen that.
Monsterd.
I
Uh,
have not finished watching Rubber. I fell asleep in the middle of that one.
yeah, I haven't finished Rubber either. I couldn't keep my attention on it. I saved Run Bitch Run to watch.
Hmm.
Um, there's one called Paranormal Extremes: Text Messages from the Dead.
Hmm.
Piranha Man versus Werewolf Man: Howl of the Piranha.
Hmm.
Little Dead Riding Hood. I watched that one. I think
I've
that one's
seen
still on
that.
Tubi.
That one was okay.
Mm. There's something called Killer Cart. The Tale of the Voodoo Prostitute.
Sorry, I snorted, laughed on that one.
This is one that's so hard to find. It's not streaming anywhere. Blood Marsh Raccoon, which apparently is about like a zombie raccoon that's also on crack.
It sounds
Uh,
like something I would watch.
mhm. I have Hellyfish, which is like a giant killer jellyfish movie.
Hmm.
I saw Zombievers. I saw Wolf Cop.
I love
Blood
Wolf Cop.
Bloods versus Wolves, but the Bloods is spelled with a Z, and the Wolves is also spelled with a Z because
I
they're
haven't.
they
They're
they're
gangs.
yeah, they're gangs. Yeah.
I haven't seen that one. I've heard of it.
Hmm.
It sounds like a winner.
Yeah. It's something called Killer Rack, which I guess is about, it says
About
a killer,
boobs.
yeah, it says a killer comedy with big eyes. But on a poster, it's got a drawing of a woman with big boobs and a t-shirt. The Fappening, which I don't know.
Oh, the
Um,
fappening. Oh,
the
lordy.
Fappening. Something
Uh,
called Morning Wood, which I don't know. Maybe he's it says here the unveiling of Dr. Jacob Pendleton's newest product, Shampoo, becomes a blistering catastrophe when it transforms the Slutton residents into humping zombies. That's what
okay.
Morning Wood is about.
Okay. That's
Um,
its sequel is probably called Morning Glory.
hmm.
Tony Man was saying, by the way, Lady Sasha Tarot is on the kayfabe site.
Oh, thank you, because I was not going to pay to watch that.
That reminds me, recently there was from Vinegar Syndrome. I don't remember the name. I discovered it this morning. It's a wrestling documentary
Hmm.
about members in the LGBTQ community that was recently released.
Oh, no, that sounds interesting.
It does.
Hmm. I would definitely look at that. Slipknot says a German told me about a movie called Attack of the Lederhosen Zombies. Oh, I need
I've
to add
heard of
that to
that.
this list. I
I've
have
heard of
another
that one.
I have a movie, a Death Spa I reviewed already. There's something called Violent Shit the Movie. Um, it has 2.7 stars on IMDb.
Oh gosh.
What else do I have? I'm scrolling past some of the ones that aren't that entertaining. There's a movie on here called The Worst Horror Movie Ever Made, the remake.
The remake.
Hmm. There's something called Dalla Morte, which I think is a take on, if you remember the
Della
movie,
Morte.
yeah, Della Morte, Della More, which I think is also called Cemetery Man.
Yeah, Della
Um,
More, Della Morte.
hmm
I love that
Cellar
one.
Cellar Dweller. I thought that was a cool
I like
title.
that one.
Is it good?
I
It's on
like it.
the.
It's a Charles Band film, like
Oh,
early
I like
Charles
him.
Band.
I
Yeah,
like Charles Band, and there was another one I was talking about that I felt like doesn't get enough accolades. Brian Usna. I love Brian Usna
I
and
liked
Stuart
Brian
Gordon.
Usna. He randomly did one of the Silent Night, Bloody Night movies, and I'm like, no wonder it's the weirdest
Oh, is
one.
it the fourth one? I think it's the fourth one.
The about the cult, the women in
Yeah,
the cult. Yes,
yeah. Hard Rock Zombies. I think that's on Shutter now. So I have
I
to check
haven't
that out.
seen that. Have I? No, I've seen Black Roses. I haven't seen Hard Rock Zombies.
There's a movie on here called I'm a Cyborg, but that's okay.
Hmm.
Um, that's a comedy drama romance. I think yes, but it's directed by Park Chan Wook. Um,
Oh, he's known for very controversial films.
mm-hmm,
Yes, the I watched Bad Guy. Um,
mm-hmm,
it's a rough watch, but it was one of those I felt compelled to finish watching it because I wanted to know what was going to happen to the protagonist.
mm-hmm. Should I continue? I have like 50 more movies on here. I'm gonna take up
Um,
everyone's time, especially when I'm supposed to go somewhere.
Let me
Let
see.
me.
Really quick, Marty was saying also I made a mistake and need to apologize to Lady Sasha. The Anchor Bay edition of The Keep doesn't have the complete cut of the movie, just a heavily extended TV version.
Oh, you don't have to apologize for that. That's okay. I'll still look for it because I think it's the only place they have it because it's not streaming anywhere. You can't stream
Yeah.
The Keep anywhere, not even on Amazon. I don't think. Let me
Yeah.
double check.
Netflix had it back in the day. I know that's how I watched it. Like,
Let me
um,
see if they
Marty
finally.
says, it's still worth watching with more of Scott Glenn character and his weird techno superpowers and a different soundtrack.
Hmm.
I like the Tangerine Dream.
It is finally on Prime Video. You can rent it for $3.99.
Oh,
It's
okay.
about time. Gosh, it's like they were in some type of, I don't know whether it was a rights dispute, but for a couple years it wasn't streaming anywhere.
It could have
Um,
been the music that's in the movie. I know usually that causes problems.
yeah, me and Marty were talking about how there's two different versions of it. There's one that has a composer, I forget his name, that did the soundtrack, and there's another one with Tangerine Dream as the
Hmm.
composers on the soundtrack. The same thing goes for Legend. There's two versions of
Yes,
Legend.
I
There's
was about
a
to say
Tangerine
that.
Dream. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the
Um,
European version, the one with Tangerine Dream, better.
mm-hmm.
Mystic
Um,
Mac was saying, I've listened to the soundtrack of Hard Rock Zombies. Oddly enough, haha, still haven't watched the film. I've done that with City of Angels. I love the soundtrack, never seen the movie.
mm.
And then Slipknot says, this is one heck of a watch list, lol.
Yeah, I made it. The title of the watch list is it's on IMDb if anyone wants to look it up. Because I made it public. It's called with a name like that. I have to see it.
I
Um,
totally am going to look that up.
it says Hollywood. Well, know what? Know what? Let me put the link in the chat. Let me see if it'll let me.
Um,
Let's see. No, it says this comment has failed to post.
oh, I think I did that because one day I had sex bots that kept posting stuff, and I'm just kind of
Oh
like,
yeah, no, I totally
yeah, I did.
understand.
Yeah.
What I'll do, you guys, is I will post the link on my community page. That way, just go to my channel and look on the community page, and I'll do that right now.
Which reminds me, I think I finally got my settings corrected to where people who come back and do the playback can finally watch the chat comments because I know somebody was saying that they would disappear.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I finally fixed it. Um, the
My
link can be
computer's
put in the
acting.
description, says Slipknot.
Yeah, my computer's acting slow right now because another issue with Mac. It gave me the prompt that I need to do my update, but
Mm,
I hate that when you need to do your update, it automatically slows everything down. And it's like
yes.
you can still let the shit work as it usually works. You know? Why would
I'm
you
like, you're
purposely
supposed to be
slow it down?
Mac. Why are you slowing down?
Yeah, I'll do the update later, like before I go to bed, because it's going to take a minute. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
should I should probably rate what this is for because it just posted a link but no preview. Okay. With a name like that. There we go. That way, at least there's an explanation for why that link is there. All right, let me go back to the watch list. I have Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers.
I
Um,
still haven't seen that. I love the tagline. They charge an arm and a leg.
mhm. Redneck Zombies, which is, I think it's shot on VHS if I remember.
Um,
Oldie but a goodie. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, which is
yes,
directed
I
by
love
Bob
that one.
Clark. Bob Clark did Porky's,
Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story, and Black Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Frankenfish, which I saw that on Sci-Fi Channel when it
I've
premiered.
seen that.
Frankenhooker, that's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen Lobster Man from Mars, but I was like, it sounds like something I should watch. Man Thing and Mansquito. Man Thing's on Tubi. Mansquito is on Freevee. Monster Man. Pinocchio's Revenge. I have not seen that in years. I
I've
saw it
seen
when I
that.
was a kid. Yeah, I have to
Yes.
rewatch it as an adult.
Um,
Well, I shouldn't say as a kid. I was younger. I think I was still grown, and I would have
I'd,
been
I'd
18,
I'd
18 or
say
19.
a good double feature is Pinocchio's Revenge and Rumpelstiltskin.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Skeeter. I have not seen Skeeter. It's on my watch list. I have seen Sorority Babes in the Slime Bowl Bowl-orama.
Yes,
That
that one is
was.
so much fun.
hmm Here's one from 1967
Oh,
called.
and I think Sorority Babes got a remake also.
Yes, yes, it did. Um, there's one from 1967 called Spider Baby or The Maddest Story Ever Told.
Oh, with Sid Haig.
I think so. I think he was in.
I don't remember it. I've seen it. No, I can't find your watch list. I'm looking.
On my is it on my community post? I just posted it 33 seconds ago. Let me reload the page, see if it didn't publish or anything like that. It's still there. Yeah. It's
Okay.
yeah, if you go to my channel and go to community, it's the last thing I posted. Thanksgiving, that one has several sequels now. Um,
Yes, I've only seen the first one.
this one I really recommend. I enjoy it. The Incredible Melting Man. I like that.
Mm,
And of course, like someone mentioned earlier, I think it was a refrigerator, horrible fridge. I have Zombie Ass Toilet of Dead on this same list. There's something on here also called Robo Geisha, and Dead Sushi. That was in
yes, Dead
my
Sushi
Japanese.
is familiar.
There's another Japanese movie called Psycho Gothic Lolita,
Yes,
and
that one's fun.
oh,
Have
that's
you
on
seen
Tubi.
Frankenstein Girl versus Vampire Girl?
No, I haven't seen that one. The last one of these I saw was Machine Girl. I think it was called Machine Girl.
Uh-huh.
Um, where's it? Mutant Girl Squad. I have one here called Rape Zombie Lust of the Dead. And then there's also Rape Zombie 2, Lust of the Dead 2.
I want to say that sounds familiar.
There's one here starring C. Thomas Howell called Mutant Vampire Zombies from the Hood. Um, I saw Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. It was okay. I felt like it needed to be more B movie-ish. I have a comedy horror that's simply called Crack Whore. It's interesting. Kill the TV movie. Those TV movies from the 70s and 80s were really good. Like they really put as much effort into it as if it was going to come out into the movie theater.
Yeah, they don't treat them the same way now. Now they're just churn it out, space filler.
Mhm. I have one from 2004 called Sexual Parasite Killer Pussy. And then here's one here's one from
I like
73
that.
called The Sinful Dwarf. It's an adult crime horror. So I don't it doesn't on IMDb it doesn't say it's streaming anywhere, so I have to look at it. It looks like it was a German movie called Das Haus Verlorenen Mädchen. MILFs versus Zombies.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
Cool.
like the title of this one. It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want to.
Um, hmm.
That one's from 2007. Oh, I didn't mean to
Oh,
click
I
on
see
it.
your playlist now.
Oh,
Watch
good.
list.
Bloodsucker Jones. I talked about Bunny the Killer thing on Jose's channel, I think. Master of Chaos. I want to call him Professor, but it's Master of Chaos.
Yeah.
Here's one from 1990 called I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle.
Hmm.
Now this one is a horror movie, okay? You know what? I'm gonna save that one for last. The second to last one I have on here is called Bachelor Party in the Bungalow of the Damned. That came out in 2008. And here's the last movie that's on my list so far. And it says that it's a horror movie from 2015. It's called Bill Huxtable, Serial Rapist.
Oh gosh. I know exactly what that's a reference to, and that's mean, but it's funny.
Yes. I'm just trying to figure out how they turned it into a horror movie.
Oh, Tony Man says, let's not forget Teeth.
Oh yeah, teeth.
Velocipaster.
Velocipaster. Yeah, I need to add that on here.
Oh,
Velocipaster. There was
Zombievers
one.
was fun. I loved that one.
Let me add Velocipaster. And there was one that someone mentioned earlier up in the comments. Whoever wrote that, can you write it again? See, I'm trying to spell Velocipaster.
Yeah, I recommended that one to Velocipaster because he said anything that anybody requests, I'll review. Internet Eric, and I say to him, Velocipaster.
And that was an enjoyable movie, in my opinion.
No, I just like the title. Plus, it mixes like that religious theme since I like religious horror. So, I mean, to me, it's just funny. I need to go back and I need to watch that one. The one that was not good was Shark Exorcist, I think it was called.
Yeah. Cocaine Bear. Yeah, I did see Cocaine. We saw that in the movies, didn't we? Cocaine Bear. Let me add that to that list.
There was another cocaine animal movie that came out shortly after Cocaine Bear, but I'm not remembering it.
I want to say it was a shark.
Was it Cocaine Shark?
I think it was Cocaine Shark. I'm gonna.
For some reason, I was thinking raccoons. It might have been Cocaine Shark. Tammy and the T-Rex. Hey, that's hurry up and watch it if you've got Shudder because they're taking that off the site.
Oh, I better get to that because I have not seen that yet. Let me add Cocaine Bear and then add.
Ooh, Attack of the Meth Gator.
Yes.
That sounds like something I would watch. Oh, is he missing teeth?
Yeah.
Does he look all zombied out? Oh man, I had watched a video, like you know how you have like those crime videos that they upload on YouTube, and you get to watch the interrogations, and there were two people on there. I think they were on meth, and they were. I thought that they were like at least 60, and then somebody mentions that they were 20 something. I'm like, no way, you look older than I do.
That's sad.
It is. Like it's just crazy how that stuff just it eats away at a person.
Smoking alone, I notice a lot of women that smoke like regular cigarettes. If they're chain smokers and they're my age, they look so much older because I think it sucks the moisture out of their skin.
Yes, I have a cigar habit. I'm not gonna lie, it does dry the skin. Yeah, I mean I'm not that bad, but yes, it does. It will dry out your skin.
What type of cigars do you like? There's a cigar bar down here. I've been to a couple times in downtown Orlando. I can't remember. Corona. It's called Corona Cigar Bar. The only thing I don't like about it is my hair and my clothes and my purse will smell very strongly of cigars the next day. I'm not like big into cigars. It's just a place I will go once in a while with my friends because they like cigars.
Acid cigars.
Yeah, Tony Man likes acid cigars. I think correct me if I'm wrong, Tony Man.
I don't have like a brand, but I'll admit I'm a wimp. Like it needs to be a flavored cigar. I can't do natural flavor. I'm just there like I'll have to chase it with a drink just because my mouth gets like really like very salivated. Like I feel like I have to spit constantly, and I know that's super ladylike.
The only thing I have, let me see. Do I have it over here? Did I move it? Yeah, it's right there. No, I just have different vapes. Like I have this one that's just called 21. Lights out. This one really helps you sleep. And
Okay, cool.
I like this one. So see if I can get it close. And it comes in a little. It's magnetic. The box is magnetic, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Those are nice. They fit in your purse well. They don't smell too bad. I like them. And this one has 5,000 milligrams THC. Not bad. If we could just get rid of Governor Killjoy here in Florida. Florida would be such a dope ass place to live if we could get rid of Governor Killjoy.
Killjoy.
That man is the enemy of fun. Anything that people like, he wants to get rid of it, including Disney. It's like, nigga, who fights Disney? People like going there. They have fun. You keep trying to fuck up everything. God damn.
My first thought was the movie Killjoy.
Oh yeah. Well, he is a clown.
Yeah.
Tony Man says yes. Yep, they're awesome. They have cappuccino flavor that goes awesome with coffee.
Yeah, I like
adjust the mic. Thank
I
you.
like
Good call.
I like the wine flavored ones, which is fun. But yeah, they're good. Or even just wine flavored with coffee. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Slipknot fan. I forgot to mention Cemetery Man. You might like it a lot. I think it's from the 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I want to say it borders on non-linear surrealist.
Mm-hmm. I put it in the same category of the way it made me feel of like Peter Jackson's earlier movies, like
Dead
Dead
Alive.
Alive. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it kind of has that feel.
I still haven't seen Bad Taste. I don't know if I should.
Oh, I love Bad Taste. I have a bottle of Viper back there. one of my I'm not gonna call them toys anymore. They're props because I'm an adult. One of the
I
props
call
I
them
have.
toys.
Yeah.
I loved Meet the Feebles, but I like puppets, and I don't care that they were people dressed in costumes. I'm like, just the fact that they were going around doing like all this bad stuff, and
Yeah, I like Meet the Feebles too.
yeah,
Oh, and
it's
there
like
are
if
puppet
the
shows. There's
huh
puppet shows on TikTok. People have brought back puppet shows. Like
really
there's a person that goes live every day to do their puppet show, and I enjoy this. One of my let me show you my favorite puppet on
yeah,
TikTok. I'll
I
hold my
don't know how to
phone up.
find the cool stuff on TikTok. Like I'll hit search and I really don't get much, or like I'll log in and some video immediately starts playing and then it'll say based off of you having watched this person, they uploaded again. Do you want to watch this? I'm like, no, it just auto played.
I just looked up puppets on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Huh.
Let me see if I find my favorite one. There's one that I love that he sings Michael McDonald's song.
Oh.
Let me find him. Where is he? They keep sending me that keeps showing me the Michael Jackson puppet over and over again. Oh, I wonder if he because of the music dispute, TikTok was having issues with, I think it's UMG Music Group, and they had removed all their music.
Mm.
So I wonder, they settled. So hopefully, I think this is the one. That's one of my favorite TikTokers. I, I that's like one of the first TikTok accounts I followed.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the same thing over and over again. I never get tired of it. The way he's like looking out longingly, and it's a fucking puppet. Made a whole music video. Oh, I didn't know he did What a Fool Believes.
I like how it looks like it's a
It's
fan
a
thing
duet.
that he sings into.
Yeah, it's literally the pull string of like a fan or something.
Uh-huh.
And what you're seeing for people who aren't familiar with TikTok is this is called duet. That's when someone takes your video and then they insert themselves on the
Oh,
side and
okay.
literally duet with you. So he
Ah,
probably uploaded himself singing it a cappella, and then the guitarist um, did a duet. Some of the duets are really cool because they'll get up to like 4 artists on there, and it'll be
oh,
like someone playing the drums, and I'm like, wow, maybe we'll have a return of bands again.
hmm.
Bands will be a thing again. Really, really cool. But that's what I mean. Like I said, you could like whatever you like want on TikTok. It's a billion different things to like. I like puppets. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. That's a
Yeah,
young lady that was
I thought it was
singing
just
with
a
her
me thing.
guitar.
I mean, I love puppets, like especially the Muppets and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Fraggle Rock.
Yes. I don't know. I finally got all of the seasons. It was released as a complete set on Blu-ray and I jumped on it.
Nice. And I like the new. Did you see the new Dark Crystal? The last one that they did on Netflix. It was maybe 5 years ago.
Mm-mm, no.
Oh,
I
if you
want to
get
say
a
it sounds
chance,
familiar.
it's so good. It's called what's the full title? And when I say it's good, it's better than what the movie was, because the movie was a little bit slow. The Dark
A
Crystal
little.
Age of Resistance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you get a chance to watch that, it's really good. Way better than what they did with the film, the
Hmm.
storytelling and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was done by Jim Henson's daughter, I believe.
Oh,
Spearheaded that. Yeah,
cool.
his son did that movie with the puppet prostitutes. What was that called? Let me ask Google.
It's not ringing a bell.
The Happy Time Murders.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a movie called The Happy Time Murders. It has Melissa McCarthy and some puppets, and all I remember from is the puppet prostitutes that were like catcalling the puppet cop. That's all I remember about that movie. They were
Oh,
trying to, yeah.
I
That
just
was
randomly remembered. I don't know if you've seen Snuff It.
no, I haven't heard of that. Snuff It?
It's about a serial killer that goes around killing puppets.
Oh, let me
You know, like Snuff
Google.
Puppet, Snuff It.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's a B film, but I don't know. I just figured I'd throw it out there because you mentioned puppets.
I have to look for that one. And all I remember from Meet the Feebles is that one puppet that was like, didn't a puppet OD or almost OD?
I think so. Yeah, I haven't watched it since I was in college. It's been a stretch.
Is it 2 words? Because it's not coming up as
Um,
one. It's 2 words. When I put in Snuff It, it's not
it
coming up as a
should
movie,
be
or is it 1 word?
it should be one word. I'm
Okay,
trying to see if I
let
can
me
find it.
type in puppet movie, see if it comes up. Oh, E.T. Snuff It. I'm putting an IT instead of ET. Let's try that. There it is, 2014.
Oh, okay,
Add
it's an
that.
ET.
Yeah, I was writing it SNUFFIT, and Google, you should still suggested me the proper spelling.
Yeah, I was doing IT also.
Mm-hmm.
Found footage snuff film with a psychotic twist. The victims are all puppets. Imagine a
Mm-hmm.
world exactly like our own, except for one crucial detail. Puppets are real and they coexist with humanity. Just like our world, there is a seedy underbelly beneath the surface.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, I think that is it. And I was supposed to leave a half an hour ago.
Uh-oh.
There it is. Attack of the Lederhosen zombies. That's what I wanted to add to my list. Thank you, Slipknot fan. Attack of the Lederhosen. That's the one superpower I would want to have. I don't know if you would call it a superpower, but if I could have a superpower, I would want to be able to be fluent in every language.
Mm-hmm.
That
That
would
would
be
be awesome.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I can just barely listen to respond in Spanish. I can understand it more than I can speak it myself.
Oh,
I took 4 years of French in school. I started learning some Korean on my phone, but I'm mediocre at all of them.
yeah. I use Duolingo. That's how I've been
Mhm,
learning French, and it's pretty good. I mean, I like that app.
mhm,
My Spanish is so. Like I mispronounce stuff. I lack vocabulary.
mhm.
But yeah.
Mr. Max says teleportation. If he had a superpower, he'd want to teleport something like in the movie Jumper. Jumper was a decent movie. I
Mm-hmm.
still don't see how what's the young man's name that played a young, like Bruce Willis played the older version of him, and then wait, or am I confusing two things? I'm thinking of Looper, not Jumper. Sorry, I was
Oh,
thinking of
okay, the
Looper.
one with Gordon. What's his face? Gordon Levitt.
Yeah, yeah, Gordon Levitt. Like we know we've seen Bruce Willis when he was younger. He never looked like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Mm.
That's rewriting history. I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a nice looking guy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I like his face. There's 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 like a they have a type of face that I like. It's and these three men are similar. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Oh, what's his name that played Derry and
Oh,
uh
Justin
oh
Long,
yes, Justin Long, Keanu Reeves. Like I like that type of face. John
like the
Cusack.
long
Q,
face.
yeah, John Cusack. Yeah, they have this face that's like it's very balanced and it
Mhm.
doesn't look too harsh. It's kind of like it has a softness to it.
Kind of oval, I think. Kind of oval shaped face.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I love the look of a square jaw in a person, but as a person ages, it gets harder to carry.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Attack of the Lizard Zombies looks good. I'm looking at a still at what one of the zombies look like. It looks pretty cool. Where is it playing? It's on Freevee,
Mm,
Peacock, Plex, and Tubi. Yay, Tubi for the win.
cool.
All right, now I really, really have to go.
Okay.
What do you I think for our next show, we should like specifically discuss one of these type of movies.
I think
Or a
that would be
couple of them.
fun.
A couple of them,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that would be fun. Um, Probably like one of those silly title movies or something.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we do this? You pick one, I'll pick one, and then we'll have two movies to discuss.
That'll work. I'll
And
probably
we'll
send
build
you a list. Like these are the ones I've watched. Which one do you want to go with? Type thing.
mhm,
Because I
and
know
we'll
sometimes some movies are rougher than others.
yes, and we'll pick movies that are available on Tubi or Freevee or someplace where everyone can get to it.
Yeah, I think that'll work great.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think. Do you have like any upcoming streams or projects or anything that you wanted to promote?
Good question, because I almost forgot. Yes, I am recording with Rainbow Fright. We are going to be talking about Child's Play and the original 1988 Child's
Ooh,
Play, and also the remake of Child's Play.
yeah.
Um, and we have a surprise for the stream. If you guys come and watch it, we have a surprise. And as always, I'm working on the Cabin in the Woods Film Festival with Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can get all the details at cabininthewoodsfilmfestival.com. I think there's still another 30 days left to submit short films. Well, short films and also folding films we're accepting this year. We're doing both. It can be horror, sci-fi, dark fantasy, or horror adjacent. And I should let you guys know that it is a hybrid film festival in which there's three parts of it. There's one part that's in the cabin, VIP guest stay in a cabin, and watch and review movies in the cabin. There's in the theater, which is in the shadow of the Seattle Space Needle. For 2 days, we'll be doing the film festival there. And then the third way you can participate is online, which is the Cabin on the Web Film Festival, which when I say participate, I mean participate. You are encouraged to talk during the movie, during our film festival, because there's a live real-time message board where you get to post your live reaction to the short films, and the directors will be able to see what you're saying about their movies as you're watching it, which is one of the things they wanted. We will also have special guests attending in the theater as well as online and in the cabin. For those joining online, it's going to be some directors, other filmmakers that will be in the chat with you and also hosting the film blocks. And there's games, prizes, and a virtual escape room, all the cool stuff. But like I said, you can get all the details on cabininthewoodsfilmfestival.com. You could follow Cabin in the Woods Film Fest on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter. It is just cabin_fest, but everywhere else is Cabin in the Woods Film Fest for the social media. On my channel, I have a lot of catching up to do. I have not recorded, and I actually have a review that I already recorded and started editing that I'll probably post this week, and that is the Exorcist Believer. I've been putting off posting it because every time I go to edit it, I get upset about the movie. About the movie. So I need to. I don't even think I spoke that badly about it on my review. It's like after the fact. There's things that I might end up re-recording the review because I feel like there's things that I needed to add. So I think that's what I might do. Because I think the reason why I'm not posting it, even though it's been months since I've seen the movie, is I don't think I'm happy with how I recorded the review. So I think I'm going to go ahead and re-record it.
I've done that before.
Horrible Fritz says, where can we watch the Child's Play stream? I forgot to say, Rainbow Fright is the channel. I will type it into the chat.
Mystic Matt got it.
Oh,
I think that's how it's spelled.
Yeah, one word, Rainbow Fright. Yes. Yeah. Me and D-Ray, we always have a good time talking, and like I said, we are gonna have a surprise for you. And that's it.
Huh.
Oh no, it's not. Hood Podcast Monday at 9:00. Hood Podcast. Chris is gonna bring you news of the weird. We talk about things all Black geek culture, and I'll let you know right off the bat. On Monday, I'm talking about Drake and Kendrick exclusively. That's it. And if you didn't know, Kara, there have been 4 diss tracks released, or have there been 5 altogether? Between if I just say Drake and Kendrick Lamar, there's been about 4 or 5. But if I include the satellite diss tracks that released by Rick Ross, Migos, Chris Brown, who else? Or is that a separate thing? How did Chris Brown end up going at the Migos? I'm so confused about that part. I'm mostly going to talk about the Kendrick Drake thing because that's the most interesting part and the best tracks to listen to, and we will go over that on Monday.
Cool.
False Proxy Session says, good night, kind regards, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by.
All of you. And
yeah. Long time no see for a bunch of you guys. I know we haven't streamed in a bit. But yeah, hopefully we can get back to doing something more regularly. Let me see. Oh, that wrestling documentary. I had retweeted it on my Twitter. If you wanted to look it up there. And then there was that one documentary. I can't remember what it was. I messaged you about it. I think sometime last month about the people that built the mall apartment.
Yeah. I completely forgot about that.
That one was pretty cool.
Okay, let's revisit that. I'm looking here. There it is. Out in the ring.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, and it's by released by Vinegar Syndrome. Let me see where that Out in the Ring.
I think it was just released.
Computer so slow. Yeah, it looks like it's. I don't see it streaming anywhere. And Vinegar Syndrome, did they just release it on VHS or some? I'm not VHS,
Um,
DVD or what? Let me
ye-
click on the link.
yeah, I think they just released it to Blu-ray, so they probably haven't set up streaming for it yet.
Hmm.
But I
Oh, it's
ran across
20.
that and I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah, it's $26.99 for it. Hopefully, it'll be streaming soon.
Hmm.
All right, so that is it. Tony Man says I'm always around like the flu or a bad penny. Okay.
Oh,
JJMP says
no.
thanks. Take care.
No, I like having Tony around. He's fun.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fun guy. Um, but yeah, I don't have any, I don't think I have any upcoming streams. I don't know if I have anything set for this coming Saturday. I'm trying to get back into streaming regularly. I still need to watch Prey so that, that Marty and I can do a stream on that one,
Mm-hmm.
that latest Predator film, which it's not that new
Yeah,
anymore.
I enjoyed that one. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about it.
Mhm. But yeah, I'm still trying to get some stuff sorted out, but hopefully I'll get
Mhm.
back into streaming more regularly. But yeah, it was a lot of fun hanging out with everybody, and thanks for stopping by again.
Thank you.
But that's all for me.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So as always, guys, that is all we have for you today, and we will talk to you later. Good night.